Teacher that song.
Hello, Gerard. Hello, everyone. It's
Good
Wednesday.
evening.
Me and Si got a bit fed up, and Si said, "Why don't we just talk shit for a bit?" so we came up with.
It's what I'm mostly good at. Talking
So
up to shite.
So here we are. Everyone's like, "Where's the magic? Where's the stuff?" No, it's just Shabby and Si talking absolute bollocks for 2 hours. So welcome, everybody. Gerard's here. Mr. B's here. Good old Mr. B.
Mr. B.
Good old Curran Ball.
Mr. Ball.
Gilster's here. You must have the day off. Look at Gilster.
Gilster is a big fan of cereal. I know that.
A big fan of cereal, yeah. I know
You like cereal?
Wes Anderson movies. He loves Wes Anderson movies. Like
And
me.
he's a big fan of Monty Python, like me.
Is he? Big fan.
We know lots about Gilster.
Our Des is here. Our Luke is here. Hiya, Luke. Our
Luke.
Jason's here. Good old Jason's. Everyone's here. Hi, Claire. Hello, Claire. How did she enjoy
Claire.
Dublin, Claire?
She loved it, but she always does love Dublin, Claire. She always does. That's why it's a one place. I'll say, "Oh, do you want to come here?" She'll go, "Yeah." Everywhere else, no. Dublin, yeah. But she has a weakness for Irish lads, doesn't she?
Does she say?
She likes the West lads and the boys' home. I remember once telling Connor this story about Claire fancying Keith Duffy. And at the end, Connor goes, "Keith Duffy used to bully me at school."
Hi, Robs. I saw his daughter in the production thing on the Lucasfilm poster. That was awesome, Hoppy. That was awesome. I bet you are proud. I bet you are proud as punch there. Hello, Ricardo. Mr. McGuire. Hello, Johnny boy. Talk about Connor. There he is. Hi, Cons.
Good evening.
Wow, everyone's turned up. Marky D. Good evening, Marky D. He's born again, Si. Born again is our Marky D. Brilliant.
If he was to be born again, what would you be born again as? Like, I'm going to say to you now, you're dead. You're going to be born again. Right. What do you want to be? What do you want? What do you want to be? What's the whole point of you going back?
What do you mean?
Like, why would you want to come back? Like, if you had obviously we're not super powered, but if you could do anything, like be a top athlete or be like a Rupert Murdoch or be a mad sailor, or what would you do if you had the chance to come back?
Dickhead. Be a mad sailor.
Do you know what I mean? What would you do? You're like, because you've already been here, so you think. I mean, me, I'd come back and think I can't be like last time. I just did nothing but fuck about.
I'd be a mad sailor. I don't know what I'd be. What would you be?
I don't know. That's my whole point. Probably a BMX champion.
I give it 5 minutes before we
talk about Andor
Adolf. I will bring Andor up, but no spoilers or anything. But I will bring it up, definitely. We've got a few things that me and Si are going to discuss tonight. And what I'll probably do is about half an hour into it, I'll probably put a link in the chat. So if any of you lads want to come on, you're more than welcome to come on. Cox is here. Good evening to the dangerous, but he's our side, mad sailors. You know, hiya, Miriam. How are you, pal? Hiya, Carol. Hiya, Zoe. Hiya, Delvian. Everybody's turned up. Everybody's here.
I kept calling him Delvian at the toy fair. I don't think he said to me, "You can call me Andy," you know. And I felt awful.
Maybe that was you call me Andy, like that. Maybe he was.
I'm all for that. Very handsome man, Delvin.
Andy. I'm all for it. Hiya, pal. How are you? It's nice to see you. Look at this. Everybody's turned up. Just to listen to me inside talk absolute bum clump for half an hour. I'd come back as Forrest Gump. He had an amazing life. Oh, no, hang on. That was a film, was it? Forrest Gump, yeah. What would I come back as? It's hard, that. Probably Everton's greatest football player. Like I'm talking, they'll put statues up of me and stuff, like proper.
Yeah, but you could change the world doing something else. Like,
I would change the world being that sort of player. I'd change the world.
Yeah, but you wouldn't play for Everton.
Yeah, well, of course I would. Who else would
you
I
wouldn't
play?
Because you'd be that good.
Yeah.
Everton would want to sell you anyway. They'd be like, "We could get millions for this idiot. Let's bung him off to Madrid." And
Georgie. Hi, Sammy Shy. We are the Knights who say neat. Hi, Mr. Reverend. Jonathan's name, Delvin's name is Andy. I was calling him Jeff the whole week. The best story of that ever, and I know we've said it before, was Usual Mike when he called G-Force Gary. Oh no, I have never laughed so hard in
It
my
was
life.
his face so confused when he went.
It was like proper. Mike was like he couldn't work it out because it's for years, wasn't it? It was only about a couple of years back, and we're all in this FaceTime, and we're all talking away, and I think it was outside. Somebody said, "Yeah, I know Mark to G-Force." Usual Mike went like that with his face. We caught him, didn't we? We said, "You all right, Mike?" He goes, "Who's Mark?" And he goes, G-Force. And he went, "Oh, I thought his name was Gary."
He's the way he said got Australian twang. I always thought he was called Gary.
Oh, it was the funniest thing ever. Talking about Marks, here's another one. Evening all. Hope you all had a good Easter and happy St. George's Day tomorrow. Yes, happy St.
Well,
George's.
yeah, I did have a good Easter, and no, I didn't, because again, years and years down the line, I had to buy my own Easter egg this Easter.
At least you got an Easter egg.
I had to buy my own, Mark. My own.
As you told me, it's weird that because I was always under the assumption, our side, that Easter eggs were all around the world. Like wherever you went in the world, there's Easter eggs, and I've never found one in America. Now, one of the lads was talking. He said, "Oh, I'm going to go to Aldi for my Easter eggs," and we have Aldi and Lidl over here. And I thought, "Oh, should I pop in there and see if they've got them?" But I didn't. So,
yeah, but if you've got like Cadbury's cream eggs and stuff and mini eggs, you must have Easter eggs.
we have mini eggs. We have mini eggs. We have cream eggs.
You
Cream
can't
eggs
go
is
into like your supermarket and there's a row of Easter eggs, like
nope, not one.
No way.
No. And what they've done, Americans like Reese's and Hershey's and all that, they've made their own version of the Cadbury's cream egg. So Reese's will do an egg and Hershey's will do an egg, but it's the standard Cadbury's cream egg size. Do you see what I mean? They don't do a big egg, if you will. I always love that though. I think it's, and maybe that's why I don't really do a lot for Easter as I've got older, because I always used to like the box you got with a cup in it or a toy in it and the egg in it and all that. And you know what I mean? I've not shared that with my kids because they're just like, what they do here, they do Easter baskets and you fill it with stuff that they want, basically. So Jen will do the kids' Easter baskets and put stuff in it and so forth. Do you know what I mean? But
you know, I always thought was a shit trick at Easter. When you make like, you know, when you make like the Cadbury's cream egg Easter egg, and you get your Easter egg, and then you'll get like 2 cream eggs in the bottom. Why did they just make like one massive Cadbury's cream egg? Even sell it for like 30 quid. I'd buy that all day long, wouldn't you? With a big egg like that.
Smith Lord
Instead
wants
of
to
like
come back.
a hollow egg and 2 little eggs.
Smith Lord wants to come back. See Sydney Sweeney's knickers. Coughlin says, "No, it might look. I'd probably ain't coming back as me." Well, that's not that bad, Coughlin. That's not that bad.
It'd be worse, look, Coughlin. You could come back as me.
Just to let you all know, Donut Donny is waving to everyone. So everybody's waving to Donut Donny. There you are. Here we go. Kevin Bull says Shabby would come back as an Everton player. Why hasn't Shabby suffered enough already? So you've answered your own question there, you see. Because with all the suffering we've had for all these years, I'd come back as like the greatest player ever. Do you know what I mean? And I'd make it out like Si that no one else could afford me. And because I'm so good or whatever, I'd play for Everton for like £10 a week. Do you know what I mean? It wouldn't be about.
But it's a wasted career that because you'd win nothing.
Why is it? I'd win everything.
How would you? There'd only be you out of 11 players on that pitch. So you'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
Everton board would be really pissed off that you wouldn't be sold. So they'd have to be stuck with this amazing talent they could get millions for.
No.
It's not a good thought, that.
No. Players attract players, Si. So everyone would be like, "Oh my life, I'd love to play with him. I'd love to play with him. He's like the greatest player ever." You know what I mean? And your brand would go up playing with Shabby at Everton. Do you see what I mean? That's exactly what it is.
FIFA. Shabby.
Hello there, Mr. B. Hello. Let's have a look. Sorry, I was late. I was cleaning my kitchen. Well, what is it? Your picture frame's all nice and straight as well. I
don't know about you, but I hate a dirty kitchen. Me can't be doing with pots in the sink or any of that. I can't stand a dirty kitchen. I like it all just nice. When you look,
I like it all just nice.
Yeah.
I saw a video when an American brought loads of British Easter eggs back to the USA and did a review with his family. All of them loved English chocolate. Yeah, I'll admit right now, being a connoisseur of both, if you will, the English chocolate is superb. Although you lot keep telling me it's changed. And then when my mum sent the Quality Street last Christmas, there were chains all in like wax packaging now and in a plastic. It's all changed. It's not the same.
It has changed. It's lost its royal seal, Cadbury's. It's not even royal sealed anymore. It's changed that much.
I'm kind of shocked that one nation known for turning everything into a marketable item missed doing so. It's weird. It's funny because it's like loads of. It's like they do these things like a peep. It's called. It's like a sugary marshmallow, and they'll do colours and colours of that. And so you'll go into a Walmart, Jono, and you'll just see boxes and boxes of them, or boxes and boxes of, you know, but never Easter eggs, never an actual, you know, like a Toblerone Easter egg or a York Easter egg, whatever. None of it. No, they just not doing. Maybe they do in major cities or whatever, or maybe there's something where the population's a bit more European. But I've never seen them. I've never seen them.
Where's the Easter eggs from? Is it Germany? Everything seems to be from Germany originally for us, didn't it? Was it a German thing, Easter eggs, or
I don't know. That's a good point. Where I asked that on CSR on Friday. How do we do eggs for Easter anyway? When did eggs become a thing for Easter, if you will? You know, but George says American chocolate is not good to make large eggs with. It's terrible, just terrible. Probably the best chocolate in the world.
It's a bit cardboardy, isn't it? I would say I've been to America a few times and tasted their chocolate. I mean, Mark will be the first to tell you, I love eating in America. I could eat everything. Everything's built for me. Cheese Philly steaks and burgers and just everything I love, and runny cheese on runny sauces. But your chocolate is awful. There's no doubt about it.
I won't say it's awful. Okay. I would say it's different. It's just a different taste. Now, if I had the choice, I'd do our own chocolate, but maybe because my palate's so used to it. Because I give our chocolate size sometimes to a lot of Americans, and they've got, it's a bit too rich, that bit too sweet. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can look at it that way as well. But I understand what you're getting. One massive cream egg. Imagine the sugar rush on that. I love
it. Mint though, wasn't it? Do you know what my favourites were, Mark? Do you remember them Terry's pyramids? And they were like Easter eggs, but they were a little pyramid, and they had mint in them. Remember the Terry's pyramids? They were the dark chocolates. I love dark chocolate.
Like After Eight?
No, it was like, it tasted like After Eight, but it was like an Easter egg shaped in a pyramid, and they're called Terry's pyramids. And inside, instead of it being the Easter egg fondant, it was mint fondant. And I used to, that's how sad I was.
Fondant.
I used to get a toothpick, right, drill a hole at the bottom, and then eat it like that, from that way around.
I love my Cadbury's cream eggs frozen. I love frozen Cadbury. You know, you stick it in the fridge for in the freezer for a couple of hours. And
I like them gooey.
Zoe says there was people on TikTok making a giant cream egg. Well, no, I don't know whether me and Zoe think about the same thing our side. There was a thing where someone got a big a Cadbury's cream Easter egg and filled it with Mr. Whippy, and then melted a Cadbury's cream egg and put it on. I was like, what the France? I'd eat that. I could eat. I remember the mid-'80s when my Oxford side knocked Everton out. No, I've never heard of Oxford. Shabby would be the hot shot Hamish of one of the road. That's what I mean, something like that. I'd be like, kids would adore me. Do you know what I mean? I'd be on kids' bedrooms. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there he is. I'm inspired to play for Everton like Shabby did. And that's the thing. You see, you're just talking about people that will play with me now. I'm talking about the future. So when I play my first few seasons at Everton, and I'm probably the greatest, the reason there's a word as football is because of Shabby. All these kids that are coming up and running, I want to work with him. This is the guy.
Well, there's an interesting point as well. Then, so if you could come back, you choose the future, not the past. Interesting.
Well, interesting, yeah. I hear VTR, yeah. I would. Would you not like to be like your greatest player for your football team? Of course you would. I Steve. Still inside the Echo building.
Never mind, I couldn't find anybody at Echo at one point. Turn around the corner, and that's the one thing I didn't like about this Times Round Echo. Yeah. In the last place, guaranteed it was a bigger place and there was more stalls. But where it was last time, it was so easy to get hold of everyone for a brew when we going for something to eat and stuff. And this time around, people had split up, people had gone before, people were waiting to go. We spent 20 minutes, me, Connor, running around with Scott Whitehouse looking for everyone. It was a nightmare for getting people together. It really was.
Sounds like... went on a mini rant there, Si. Echo. Do you know what I mean?
It was a bit, yeah.
I understood half and half our size. I've watched a couple of videos where people said they like the new setup, and I watched a couple of videos that I'm not too sure about setup. What would you say, Si? What's your opinion on it? The new setup?
I like the new setup. I thought it was great that it was bigger. It was
Yeah.
more area, but it felt twice as packed. It felt like you couldn't move, even worse than the last one. And it was dingy. And what surprised me is I've watched everybody's YouTube videos, and it looked like well lit, but it wasn't. It was like some corners were quite dark, and you were like, it was all too. And then you come out of an aisle and you go, which way did I just go?
Really?
You know? Yeah, it was like.
I can imagine that side like. Hang on a minute.
I'm not looking the Echo lads of the setup. I like Echo. Do you know what I mean? I like going and stuff. It's great meeting up with everyone. But I'll probably get used to it. Next time around it'll probably still be in the same plot.
So we asked before our Simon about Easter eggs and where did it come from. Well, Donald Doney writes, the tradition of Easter eggs originated from a blend of ancient pagan and Christian beliefs. Eggs were a symbol of spring and rebirth in many pre-Christian cultures, and early Christians adopted this.
Well,
What do you think? There you are. Cheers, Mark. So Mark explained it all perfect. Easter eggs must be eaten all in one sitting. The worst for me is when my mum sends me those big dairy milk bars. I can't put any of that right.
They could be eaten in one sitting, Dave, if you get any Easter eggs at Easter.
Yeah.
Next year I expect hundreds of everybody.
Si, I know you're stoned, but how can an egg be a pyramid?
You check them out online.
Yeah.
Terry's pyramids, they were called. They were double nice.
Jason remembers him. I remember him, Si.
Yeah, he said. Jason does.
Mr. B says, I don't eat Cadbury's eggs because I don't know what it is in the centre. Oh, it's the centre's the best part, Mr. B.
You want about the top off, finger in.
The creamy part, yeah. Oh, you put it in your finger and all that. Sat there watching TV, finger up your nose and you go,
Yeah.
Maybe the part of it, Mr. B, is not knowing what it is. Maybe if they told you what it was, you probably thought, I'm not eating one of them. Do you know what I mean?
It's fondue.
She says no. She says, Shabby, Si, no. I saw someone making a cream egg fondant on scooping out the fondant from regular cream eggs into a big cream.
Oh, tell me that.
How many did that take? That must have taken. I'd
love that, man. Would you not?
How many Cadbury's cream eggs? And this is for the chat too, because we are an interactive stream. How many Cadbury's cream eggs do you reckon you could eat in one sitting?
Oh, 2, 3.
Yeah, 10 France.
No, you think I'm a big lad, I can eat loads, and I can't. I'm really funny like that. I'm always the last at the bloody table. I never really eat a lot of stuff, and it always amazes me when I watch that like beard versus food. That skinny little guy with the big beard, he can eat fucking plates.
I watched him last night. Beard versus
me and Tez once went out in Blackpool. I'm twice the size of Tez, and he had to finish my burger off as well as his own. Do you know what I mean? I'm not a big eater like that, so I'd probably say, Mark, 3.
I reckon because I've done, over here they'll sell the 5-pack of Cadbury's cream eggs, the 5-pack, and I've polished one of them off in one sitting, no problem. Do you know what I mean? Stick it in the freezer. Star Wars is on or whatever, or The Last of Us or whatever, and you sit down here. So I can polish them off. So I reckon, no word of a lie, I can do about 8. Yeah,
no chance you could do 8. No chance.
As big as you think those size. Well, they're only, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but the filling though, aren't they? The proper like after a cream egg, and that's after 1. 8. I bet you could do 8.
Hey, I tell you what, I might do. I might come back talking about when we were coming back. Come back and buy his club Reading. It's still up for sale, isn't it? It's got another week to go. Might buy that. Buy Reading, and then I'd play for Reading as well as Everton and make them glorious.
Turning into like Reading Madrid.
Cheers, Caitlin. I didn't get an Easter egg. TJC didn't get an Easter egg. Jace didn't get you an Easter egg. What the f is going on?
We know some lousy people, Terry.
Just a thought. Can you make it dark over there, size here?
You're saving the eggs to lob at the window when I'm in bed.
Hiya, Stu. You're all right, pal. Beats the hell out of me, Mr. B. It's nice though. Honestly, Ricardo. Get right, Ricardo, Mr. B. Just go into, I don't know, Winn-Dixie or Kroger or Food Lion or wherever they have in Texas Q and just buy yourself 5. Walmart sell them. Walmart sells them. Get yourself a Cadbury's cream egg and tell us what you think. Hi, APC. How are you, pal? Wow,
Nicholas?
everyone's turned up. Everyone's turned up. Easter eggs originated in France and Germany. Easter eggs originated in France and Germany in the early 19th century. Though these early eggs are mostly solid, in the UK, J.S. Fry and Sons produced the first hollow chocolate egg in 1873.
Oh, I love Fry's chocolate. Fry's chocolate, something else.
Was
Dark
always
fried
mum's favourite,
chocolate.
that fries.
Yeah. Do you remember when we were kidding? If mum gave you a piece of that, you always felt dead special, didn't you? And I used to say, "Don't give Mark any."
Charming.
I tell you what. Yeah.
The other thing, Sheila, was it mum that loved Bourneville as well? Bourneville chocolate.
I love Bourneville. We've always got Bourneville in. I love Bourneville chocolate. Yeah, I think I've got that from my mum.
So chocolate Easter eggs are just over 150 years old. I wouldn't eat that. After a week, it's gone dry. Bet that doesn't taste nice. I bet it doesn't. Georgie says, who plays how many Cadbury's cream eggs can fit in your mouth at once? Oh, just me then. What? I don't think I could put about. I think I could fit 2 in my mouth. I don't know about that, but
come on, Mark. I know your history. You could, you could fit a lot.
Well, that's the end of the stream. George Aiken picked up 32 cream eggs today. Arsenal 2-1 up. He's up to us to win at Anfield Sunday afternoon. Well, there you go. You've won it. 37. Yum, 37. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got. Gilser says 4 or 5.
4 or 5, like.
Yeah, 4 or 5 is pretty good. 4 or 5. But I reckon I could do 8. Maybe we should do it one night on the stream. Maybe we should get all the lads on the stream with loads of Cadbury's cream eggs. The last one out. Do you know what I mean? That sounds like a good idea, that.
I'd lose. I couldn't eat more than 2.
10. 10? Yeah, well, it's not as hard as you think, Si. Marky D says, bloke at work ate 12 in one sitting for Red Nose Days a few years back. I'd have a go at that. I'd have a go at 12, Marky D. I love them. They're double tasty. But they don't sell them all year round over here, Si.
You don't hear?
Oh, they don't anymore there. Because he used
to never did.
I'm sure they sold Cadbury's cream eggs all year round.
No, between, I think it's just after January and up to Easter. A little bit after, and then that's it.
Yeah, they do the same thing.
Same as mini eggs. You think you could buy mini eggs all year round? You can't.
Yeah, I agree with that. Shabby, the cream eggs is a lot smaller now. So I've noticed that as well. They have shrunk a bit, haven't they? 2 cream eggs for me. Any more and I'll start to feel sick.
John knows. 2's more than sufficient. Don't be so greedy. You want to get 2 for £1.
I remember. Oh, I saw Emma's art that you did, Si.
Yeah, do you remember? Yeah. Well, I'd say I met her a year ago. I saw her at the at the toy fair, and she came this time round as well. She's great girl, right, laugh.
That picture's lovely of her that you did. It's nice when you do that for people, Simon. It is nice. I've got to admit, it is.
So I like to do that sometimes. I get a stretch and I just think I want to do something a bit different, and I want to draw somebody that people know and stuff, and without even mentioning a name. And I suppose you just put yourself to the test a bit, innit?
Yeah, but it's friendly though, Si. I like the way you do it. I watched one of the grandkids eat one of those Cadbury's cream eggs and it dozed out and tasted out.
No.
Full of sugar. I know the answer to this cream egg. I once ate 37 in a row when I was throwing them away when I worked in a shop. They came out again and it was like a fondant plane.
37?
Yeah. It's not as hard as you think, Si, I don't think. I've sent you both a link of someone making a giant cream egg. Should we see if I can get this link? Should we have a look at it?
Let's have a look.
Right, let's have a
look.
Si, you'll just have to concentrate on the chat a sec. Well, let's have a look. Zoe sent it to me right here. Right here. Right, let's have a look if I can get it. Because
you're supposed to fill in this bit properly like the news does. Say your words slowly and pace them by 8 seconds.
Right, here we go. So, Zoe sent it me. Should we watch this, everyone? Should we watch this? So, look at us not watching anything about Cadbury's cream eggs. I can tell he's talking shit. Oh, let's have a look. So, here it is. Can you see that, RSI?
Yeah, about an hour later.
Right, is it there though? Yeah?
yeah.
Right, here we go.
I think that most foods that are small would be better if they were big. And to prove it, today I'm giving away this giant cream egg. Just stick around to the end and I'll tell you how it can be yours. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, oh, he's just made a little Easter egg. It's empty on the inside. How about no? How about I wouldn't do that to you guys? How about
No.
4 kilograms of sugar to make fondant? Something I've never done before, and I don't know why I thought it would be easy. Also, I'm not sure why I'm surprised by this, but the contents of a cream egg is literally just sugar and water. The more you know, the less good you feel. Whipping this to the right texture with just a wooden spoon took me over an hour. And guess what? I had to do it twice because I didn't make enough. I refused to ever take a single half measure on this channel, so I bought a custom tool to do this little scrapey bit. Ignore the fact that I completely forgot one of the inner circle. I filled up both sides of the egg, cleared out my entire fridge, and left them overnight. I melted down another bar of chocolate to seal the two together, bringing the total number of chocolate bars in this thing up to 20. This thing literally weighs as much as a 5-year-old, a fat 5-year-old. I commissioned an artist to make me a giant wrapper. Money well spent because this thing looks sick. I literally don't think I've ever been more proud of something. And if you want it and you live in the UK, just follow, save, and like, and I'll pick the funniest comment and I'll give it to you.
Oh, we missed out there. Look at that beast. I would love that.
I'd eat that. I'd have a good go. I'd bring a spoon. So there you are, Mr. Beast. Just sugar and fondant and water that's in the middle. That's all it is. You're fine. Look at that. As I am a.
I'd be an exit.
Marky D asks, how many can you fill up your bum? Hundreds. I don't know. We ran out of eggs. Anne-Marie says, Si can polish off a bag of mini eggs in minutes. Well, they are. They see the truth coming out now, Si.
Minutes.
Yeah.
I don't. She sits there like that. She sits there with her hand like that when I'm eating them. That's how she sits. So I have to go.
My wife does that. My wife lies on the couch, and I'm like, we have a sectional like that. And every time she wants something, she just puts her hand out like that. Do you know what I mean? She never. Go, I'll get it for you. Foxy says, Chris, if that's true, it's both hugely admirable and absolutely disgusting at the same time. You deserve a Pride of Britain award. For
37 cream eggs is. Oh, I couldn't dream of that.
Cat Knight's here. Hiya, Cat. 50 people in the chat. Oh, thank you all so much. That's awesome of you. My mum would have a go at me and my brother for scoffing all our eggs in one day. So I used to eat and have an egg and leave the other half in the box with the foil on. Like I'd not touched it.
My mum used to do that with the Christmas decorations. My mum used to always buy Christmas decorations of chocolate and stick them up. I mean, my brothers used to eat them and fold them back round to the look that was still there.
You know, I completely forgot about that. And the funniest thing is, my kids do it with the peppermint sticks. You know, the peppermint candies that you put on there. It's like a shape like an umbrella's handle, if you will. And you stick them all on the tree. By the end of the night, they've all gone, every one of them. So, yeah, my kids love those. Peppermint cream, still like them. Peppermint creams. Which one's a peppermint cream? Oh, the fries. Nice. Yeah, double nice. Shabby could eat 8 cream eggs, but how many shredded wheat can he eat? I've not had shredded wheat in donkeys.
I could eat a lot more shredded wheat. I could eat about 8 shredded wheats.
How many bowls of shreddies could you have? Because I know you're a big fan of shred. I haven't had shreddies in years. They don't sell them over here. So
infinite. The shreddies are the choice of the gods, aren't they? When the gods said we're going to come up with cereal, the shreddies was their number one.
I always like corn puffs, me. Always.
Who?
What they called, the golden puffs, they're called over here. What they called
sugar puffs.
Sugar puffs, that's it. I always used to love sugar puffs.
I don't think they're called sugar puffs, are they?
Are they not?
No.
Golden puffs, they're called over here. I can do a box of 5 eggs, no problem. See, a box of 5 size. I would say it's I would say it's about half the size of a dairy milk bar, a big one. Do you know what I mean?
No, not like that.
Hey, Chiefos. The standard side of Cadbury eggs are all the little ones. The little ones, can you polish off a bag of mini eggs? A family size bag? Yeah, that's easy to do.
Seconds.
Right, well, that's my point. I bet there's more in those mini eggs than there are in Cadbury's, than 5 Cadbury's cream eggs. So
maybe it's just all that fondant over once. You know, like you've got to eat another one with all that fondant, and then a third one with all that fondant. I think it might be that.
It's a question of the week here. Why don't cream eggs come in a egg carton? That's a good point. Why don't they?
I'm sure you can get 6 eggs in a carton, though, can't you? I'm sure you can. Well, they used to do, didn't they?
I'm not sure. You can still over here. Are eggs expensive where you are? Like real eggs?
I don't know. How much your free range eggs? £1.59, aren't they, for 6?
Double pricey over here.
I might, but that just might be with my co-op card. It might be a bit dearer with it if you forget it.
I don't know the actual story, so I'm not going to make it out like I do. But apparently last year there was millions of chickens that were slaughtered because of a virus or something over here. And so eggs over here, like a dozen eggs, is like $8. It's really expensive.
Oh my God.
Really expensive.
Well, your chickens are going to have Gucci on. Take you right, son.
Gold-plated hen coop. You know what I mean?
I all got gold chains on.
Going out like that. Oh, brilliant. Yo, what up? I made chocolate muffins with a whole cream egg in them. Oh, that sounds nice.
Oh,
Been at work, and then here it's sold. I can't read that part, so I ain't got my glasses on. And sold them warm. Oh, that sounds double nice. Imagine a chocolate muffin with a cream egg.
Maybe, Kat. This is just a thought, but maybe you might want to make them again for the next Toy Fair.
Yeah, there's never. Yeah, but can the cream eggs turn into Halloween eggs? Halloween eggs? What Halloween eggs?
Oh, they're like cream eggs, but they're green and black, aren't they? They're the same sort of thing. It's minty, I think, aren't they? I don't like mint and chocolate. I can't do it. I can only do it with fries. It's the only thing I can do it with.
They're packaging some special cartons there for VTR. Let me what I'm going to do is I'm going to present. I'm going to just stick the link in the chat. So if anyone wants to come on, just talk to me inside. We've got places.
Come and talk to us.
You're more than welcome to come in and say hello. We've got a few things to talk about, if I can remember. Let's have a look. I will take you up on the Cadbury's cream egg challenge, Shabby. See, Stu's not messing about. Stu's at home like 8, 4, 2. I reckon you could do it.
Hey, calls himself a big lad.
Exactly.
No, I can't.
Don't think so, G-Force. Cream eggs are one of the few sweeties that I don't seem to be way smaller these days than they used to be. They don't seem to be. I thought they were a little bit. I'm not as much.
They've stayed the same, haven't they? Because my hands are bigger from being a kid, but I think cream eggs are basically the same, aren't they?
Yeah, there we go. They tried selling them in egg cartons, VTR Dave, but certain people confuse them with real eggs. Can you imagine? What the hell is this? Go around Tesco's. They are now all at half price. They are. So George says, there you go. All your eggs
I would have done, George, but BOE's been in and bought 122 eggs. It's cleared them out.
PGM. Hi, PGM says, there are tariffs on your cream eggs over there, Shabby. Because they're still $2,500 a dozen. So expensive eggs. The smell.
See, Anna knows.
Heavenly.
See, no, I do that. Before you eat a mini egg, I always smell it. That's probably.
Do you freeze your mini eggs first? So they're hard?
No, I don't. I would freeze any chocolate.
That's weird.
Knobhead sucking frozen chocolate. I like proper room temperature chocolate.
Oh, brilliant!
But you're right there, yeah. Smell of them. I love the smell of mini eggs. Yeah.
I bet Stu wishes he still had a cream egg challenge instead of the My Little Pony tattoo. He got some. I've got to admit, Stu, he's got some balls to do that. He really has. He really has.
I think it's a nice thing, really. He's put on this. He's created a load of money. He's generated a nice thing. He's done 48 hours altogether. He thinks of a fantastic community. He thinks of a fantastic charity. And when he gets that done, every time he looks at it, he'll always remember what he did here for that. So I have every credit.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it, Si. Another way of looking at it, he's got a My Little Pony tattoo. You know?
Yeah.
Never go on Blackpool Beach for that. Well, imagine all those fat blokes.
And actually, he'd fit right in. He'd fit right in with the pony tattoo here. Fit right in.
The smell of mini eggs should be a link scent. Oh, Adam Berry should try it out. What do you reckon? What have you got on? Voodoo cream egg.
Fondue cream egg.
Fondue cream egg. Where'd you get that from? I don't know. It was in a pack. I got 5. Yeah, I've seen stuff online lately about Asda doing Easter eggs half price. Full size ones are under £1. Under £1, Cox. Yeah, I'd blooming cleared them out for that. Under £1.
Yeah.
There we go. I don't usually get all these wanky mate chocolate into something else. Just eat all the just
yeah. But the point is, you can't get a cream egg that size, can you? But if you could, I would. How much do you reckon you could sell that cream egg for?
That big one.
30
How much
quid.
would you buy it for? How much would you? 30 quid. Yeah, 30
I'd
quid.
say
I'd do
30 quid. 29.99. Can you make that size? I'd buy one every Easter, wouldn't you?
JT says, "Ahoy, fellas! I was about to watch Andor, but saw you were streaming. Well, thank you, JT. That's nice. If you know spoilers, no, won't be any spoilers. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I watched all 3 episodes last night, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And once, I think we'll talk about it more once a lot of people have got on. There's just one bit in it, and I wouldn't say it took me out of it. I wouldn't say it did, but I was talking to a few lads this morning. And it was a little bit. That's shouldn't really be in Star Wars, that. But apart from that, I liked it. I like Andor. I like the first season. I like the second season. It's just, you know, Disney's a weird company to me. I say it's a weird. It's like, especially when it comes to Star Wars, because you don't know where you're up to. It's all different. Do you know what I mean?
Don't start me off.
It's funny.
Don't start me off.
It weighs as much as a fat 5-year-old. A fat 5-year-old.
That's what I'd ask for, though, if I bought it. Can I have that Easter egg that weighs like a fat 5-year-old? Thanks.
Can you imagine leaving it in a car and it was melting? Oh, nothing worse than melted chocolate everywhere, isn't there? Nothing worse. So we go. Cadbury say the centre. So this is for Mr. B and Ricardo that VTR saying this. It's a secret recipe. So that's why you don't know, because it's a secret recipe. So anyway, I want to show something here. Here we go. Let's have a look. So first thing I wanted to talk to you about was this. Now this made me quite surprised, this, Simon, when I saw this. And it's going on about the Star Wars as well, but this is 10 years old already.
Just 10 years of bad memories, that, isn't it?
So why have you put the bread bin at the bottom of it?
That's what this whole film is. Star Wars, the bread bin awakens.
I just noticed you put a bread bin.
One thing that I always think about when I watch this film, and I will say sorry again, Mark, after 10 years, is having a 2-hour rant to you on the phone as soon as I'd seen it.
You always hated it, though, didn't you? You weren't a fan of it at all.
Stand any of it. And do you know what really upset me? That trailer for The Phantom Menace was amazing. And for me, when you're a big fan of Knights of the Round Table and King Arthur and medieval and Camelot sort of stuff, and I saw Kylo Ren for the first time, and I will say to this day, I have no love for Disney Star Wars. My favorite lightsaber is that Kylo Ren lightsaber. When he pulled out that and the cross guard lit up and he's got like this medieval garb on, my head blew off. He's by the side of the castle that lately we found out it was Mascanata's. But I tell you, that was one of the greatest trailers I think I'll ever see outside of The Phantom Menace. And then I watched it.
The thing is, you see, I've got a completely different thing to you, completely different, because when I remember the trailer coming out Thanksgiving a year before, it was like 2014, wasn't it? The year before. And it was like it was Thanksgiving. I remember because it was just before Christmas. And I remember seeing the Falcon going up, the way they did that shot with the Falcon going up and down, and the 2 TIE fighters flying past it and so forth. I thought this is going to be unbelievable, and the way they did it, and so one of the things I have fond memories about The Force Awakens is to me is I loved the aura around it. It was the first time since the prequels that we were all like, oh man, Star Wars is back, and then I think at the time you got more and more excited over the fact that social media was massive by then. You know what I mean? You could see it on Twitter and on Facebook and on YouTube and all that sort of stuff. And so it got you even more excited because everywhere you looked, you're seeing pictures of Mark Hamill, you're seeing pictures of Carrie Fisher and Harrison Ford. And I love that trailer when John Boyega just stands up. Do you know what I mean? He's got his Stormtrooper gear on it, and you thought it was Tatooine at the time, and I'm like, this is gonna be.
Oh, my favourite trailer of that is when they mixed it with Spaceballs. We ain't found shit. I love that trailer when they mixed that bit up. That was really good.
It was just what is it? Cheers, G-Force. It was just I just thought it was one of the best things ever. I really did, and I went to see it, and there's a pile of poo. I went to see it and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I really did. And I remember your rant. You went mad about it. It is shit and I can't stand it and all that.
I've never seen anything so far removed. I hated the way that Han Solo wasn't with Princess Leia and he was back being a smuggler and all that when he fought through all the 3 films to get away from that life. Honestly, it was just everything about it was just so crap. It was unbearable. When they start running, let's take this shit. No, we're not taking that one. It's a pile of junk. Then the next thing, 2 minutes later, she goes, "You're Han Solo. This is the Millennium Falcon." She knows everything about it, but she didn't know that that was the ship. Oh, I was lucky.
Yeah, they were incredible, weren't they? But I think what it was for me, though, I think because I always said the same thing to him. We've had this conversation now for 10 years, but I can't believe 10 years has gone by. I cannot believe it. 10 years has gone already. Do you know what I mean? And the thing for me is, I always said to you that this is number one of a trilogy, because a lot of people were comparing it to a New Hope. Oh, it's just a New Hope knockoff. It's just a redo of a New Hope. And I was under the impression at the time, thinking, well, I can kind of understand that, because by doing it like that and putting the original casting, not only are you getting diehard fans like us, but you're also getting new fans, because, you know, you're not separating, you're bringing us both together, which I really enjoyed. You know, you got your Finn, your Poe, your Rey for the young up and coming Star Wars, and then you've got Han, Luke, and Leia, Chewie, and 3PO for us lot. So I really enjoyed The Force Awakens. And the only problem is, I don't think I've seen Force Awakens in about 6 or 7 years, is because the other two movies ruined it for me. And I always said that to you. I always said, I'll wait and see what the next ones are like. Because obviously what they did is they did that one on purpose to make it, you know, like it like a New Hope and so forth. And then, you know, or is it PJ?
Just everything was so stupid. Everything was. They built a whole thing in that planet, Starkiller Base, in 30 years. That's how long it took them to do that. I was like, oh.
That was a bit weird, wasn't it? I can understand. Don't get me wrong. Looking back now, it's like Biker Scout says here. I first saw Force Awakens on an opening day in Dublin. My first reaction out of the cinema was disappointment. Han being killed. It was for me. I was crying. I remember my sister-in-law passing me tissues. I was absolutely mortified.
I was crying because I was like so angry about, is this how he dies, Han Solo? Is this what you're going to do, really?
Yeah.
I didn't. I was just annoyed. Right. Everything was just a kick in the balls from the moment it started till it finished everything.
It's funny, now the trilogy's all done and dusted, though, you look back at The Force Awakens, and to me, it's the film what could have been. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Because the couple of things in it, I thought, oh, is this the way they're going? Is when Han died, to me, I thought, oh, because you've heard for years, and I don't know Harrison Ford. Oh, to believe, I know. I know he's a big fan. But what is it? I heard for years that, you know, he wants to kill off Han Solo, and he was telling George Lucas to kill him off, and George Lucas said no, and so forth. And then when that happened, I thought, all right, fair enough. You know what I mean? I didn't like the way he died. A hero shouldn't go out like that, just off, you know what I mean? And you could see it from there, couldn't you? And then the way Rey beat Kylo Ren in the first one, and she was all over him, battered him at the end of it, you know what I mean? And then obviously the forest divided and stuff like that. So I was a bit like, yeah, all right, I get it now. But I did enjoy that movie. But like I said, I haven't gone back and watched it, Si, for years, simply because of the other two movies. I
watched them once because I'm a fan of Star Wars. I love Star Wars, I always will. I'm a bloke of our age. It's our generations. We love Star Wars. We've got no choice. But I am extremely disappointed in Star Wars today of this past 10 years. And I'm not just saying it from the verge of me. I'm saying it from the verge of all proper original Star Wars fan lovers. Yeah. I think the way they treated characters in a franchise is just disgusting and cheap and wishy-washy, and they're not bothered. It's made everybody so bewildered. Like, what are you doing for the world's greatest cinematic experience? What are you doing? And the only thing to look forward to in Star Wars today is TV shows and children's animations.
TV shows. Jason says, yes, I was the same with how Han and Leia was. I read all the books and they got married. Yeah, the kids were Jason, Jaina, and Anakin. And I would have assumed that, looking back now, there's a lot of things you could have done a little bit differently. But obviously they wanted to exclude the expanded universe, which is weird considering most of it's in Star Wars now anyway. But you could have gone down that route. Yeah, it's a hard one, because I do feel a bit sorry, because I did enjoy it. I've got to admit, I came out of the cinema, I remember, and thinking, oh, that was brilliant. You know what I mean? Is it as good as the originals? No. Is it as good as the prequels? Probably not. But what is it? I thought Star Wars was back in a massive way. Who would have thought that it went the way it did? You know what I mean?
Oh, no, that I will disagree with you. Because when it did come out, The Force Awakens, especially for that year beforehand, it was back in a massive way. And, you know, you'd be a liar to say you weren't excited about the the uproar of it, and the toys were coming back, and you were seeing adverts on the telly again, and all that. It was fantastic to have all that back. It's just a shame. I mean, it's funny. I heard Trekkie fans say it when Abrams took over the Star Trek franchise, and they're all going, "He ruined it. He's turned it into Star Wars. It's not Trek at all. It's nothing like what." And I was like, "What you lot on about? There were good films, them Trek films. I quite liked them."
Yeah.
Then he came over to Star Wars. So then once he did it with our Star Wars franchise, I knew exactly what the Trekkies were on about. Exactly what they're on about.
Yeah. But the thing is, I watched those Star Trek movies and thought, if he's going to make Star Wars like this, then awesome for us. Because that's what Star Wars was. You know what I mean? The Trekkie fans were mad because it was too much like Star Wars. So I thought, brilliant. But I've got to admit, by the third film, I think even JJ given up, and he like, this ain't going to work.
They're all giving up.
JT says, I enjoyed The Force Awakens. I agree that Solo going back to being a smuggler was silly. How did Chewie feel about that? I wonder. The rest of the trilogy fell apart. I agree 100%. Palpatine was back.
Yeah. I don't bring him back to kill him off. Here he is. See you later.
How'd you get that lightsaber? It is a story for another time.
Until that thing from like bloody... God, it looked like a Geiger drawing, didn't it? That big thing he was hooked on. Yeah.
Des T says, let's change the subject a minute. Today's the 20th anniversary of YouTube. Oh, well, happy anniversary, YouTube. To be honest, it's what I watch most nowadays. I don't think you're right there. Well, yes and no. Because, I do like the streaming stuff. I've been watching that new John Hamm thing on Apple. That was been pretty good. And I do watch the main shows. Last of Us, I've caught up with. Last of Us has been really good. You haven't watched it yet, have you? Side The Last of Us, any of it? We had this conversation, didn't we? You haven't watched anything, have you, for ages?
Well, I'm a bit like Shaun in Shaun of the Dead, where like zombies are just shit, aren't they? Just like you can't like. What do they do?
It's a fungus. Zoe says, I must admit, I think The Force Awakens was the first time I watched it in the cinema, despite the prequels coming out when I was a young child. So for me, I enjoyed it. I did. And I remember taking all my kids, and Suki was at a horse riding lesson or something, so she could go. So I took her the next day as well. So I went to see it twice in 2 days. And it was great because the theatre was packed. Everyone was in a good mood. Everyone's got the lightsabers out. And so I've said this on ZSR, Simon, a few times. It was the aura for me. I think that's what makes that film special to me. Is everything that came with it. Do you know what I mean? I just thought it was awesome. I really did. Force Awakens came out a week after the James Bond movie Spectre came out. Wow, he said that's all back. Even though Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 2. Oh, champion. Yeah, you could win the league tonight, couldn't you?
Funny.
I remember Harrison Ford wanted to be killed off at Empire, but they persuaded. So it was Empire, was it? But they persuaded to keep him on. So I guess he got his wish.
I always thought he was Return of the Jedi. I always thought he was Return of the Jedi. What 2 bumps off him? Said finish me off in the third one. And George Lucas, Return of the Jedi. Yeah. I thought it was Return of the. It might be Empire, but I thought it was Return of the Jedi.
Got to go, lads. My target's on the move. You can't get him. You can't get him. As enough as the prequels were, at least they didn't trash the legacy. See, I love the prequel. I'm going to go. We got tickets for Revenge of the Sith this weekend, and I can't wait to go and see it.
I watched it today.
Yeah, you did, didn't you? Watch Return of the Jedi again? How many times do you think you've seen Return of the Jedi?
I'm not being funny. If I've watched any Star Wars of anything like outside of the trilogy, I have to watch Return of the Jedi after. I have to. It's like your pudding after your dinner. I have to. Return of the Jedi is the greatest Star Wars movie ever made, ever. I know trendies like to say Empire, but it's Return of the Jedi. We all know it is.
I had a conversation about this, and I'm glad you brought this up about Star Wars Celebration, because I was sat there at YouTube. I love watching it on YouTube. I'm not a person that's going to spend all that money going to I know most of you lads have been. But I watched it on YouTube, and I'm like, it's the same shit over and over and over again. The same shtick, the same everybody crying, everybody's. But then, so I didn't slag Celebration off, but I was like, I wouldn't want to go. But you said something different to me, because all I do is look at the YouTube side of it. But when you're there, it's a lot different, right? So it's a great experience and so forth.
Yeah, I love Star Wars Celebration. It's brilliant. If anybody has a chance to go. It's a great time. Don't look at them panels and think, oh, it's a bit cringy, this. That is a very small part of Star Wars Celebration. If you love Star Wars, I was lucky because the one I went to was the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. So really, I had Celebration at the just perfect time to go, because, for me, my opinion, I love Return of the Jedi. So it was brilliant for that. But I'm going to go to the Los Angeles one. St. Clair, we said, yeah, we'll definitely go. Do you know what I mean? I'm not missing out on that. We're going to go in 2 years,
Should we
definitely.
all go? Panel, should we
I
all go?
think so.
Chat, should we all go? Should we all go to LA? You know what I mean? Come and stay at mine, Scoobers and G-Forces, then we'll all fly over to LA. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
Reynolds says, I'm with you 100%, Si. I don't watch new Star Wars and I don't watch most of the live action stuff. Never rewatched the modern movies, original trilogy, and that's it. That's Star Wars for me, and that's it. And I you know, after all the Fury and so forth, it's easy because it's like Andor. I like Andor now, and I did like last night's first 3 episodes as well. And it's refreshing to enjoy stuff. But I like the Skeleton Crew. I didn't mind that. I actually liked Ahsoka, except for the final episode. I thought the final episode was a joke. You know what I mean? So, but I can understand why people are like, you know what? I'll just stick with the Star Wars I love instead of pissing and moaning about it. So I can understand that. It's all right, Keith. It seems like there's no thought in the storyline now. They're just riding the shirt of the tail of the title. He's got a point. He has got a point, definitely. The sequel film should have been the Timothy Zahn series. Oh, that would have been superb. I've got every book he's done. I love Timothy. Do you ever read a Timothy Zahn book, Si?
Yeah, all the Empire books. But that's the whole point. Why didn't they? When they know there was so much love from back in the 90s, why didn't they?
I think, Si, I'm under the impression like they
how do you get, sorry to interrupt you, but how do you get 30 years of great Star Wars after Return of the Jedi? And George Lucas to also say to Disney, and there's the 3 final scripts that I've got, there's the 3 final drafts. Yeah. For them to go, no, thank you. It's Ray. It's crazy.
As far as I'm concerned, The Force Awakens is one and done. I agree. I agree with in that circumstance. The only problem with YouTube is there's too many ads. Not on Shabby's.
But you know what? To go off the subject and go back onto Desi's subject, he's right. I do find myself now watching YouTube more than ever before, and more than any TV channel, and more than I just come home and you have your tea and it's YouTube flicking through. I think it's because it's more for your interest now, isn't it? You're not just watching the news or just watching something and you know, you think, oh yeah, what's new out in this, and you have a look, and I think YouTube is it is the way forward, isn't it? Really, it is now.
It's just easy to do, isn't it? I mean, you get all your news and your sports and everything else off, you know, news-wise off it. And I like watching my friends' videos, and I think as well, it's things that you're interested in. So it's easy to find stuff you're interested in on YouTube, and then you come across somebody, go, oh, this is awesome, and that kind of thing. Force Awakens was the last big deal they made for Star Wars. No hype around it anymore. We got a trailer or 2. Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. No, it's The Empire Strikes Back, says Mr. PGM. My brother and I were thinking about going to Maine to see A New Hope with a live orchestra. I'd love to do that. Andy was telling me all the chronicles he's been, you know, to listen to John Williams play at the Hollywood Bowl or whatever. I bet that's awesome to listen to. I bet it is. I think that Star Wars Celebration at Los Angeles is the 50th celebration, so I'm expecting it's going to be very good. What do you reckon, Si? Are you really on for Si going to LA?
Why not? Why not? It's 2 years away. It's 2 years away. So why not? Why not?
Saw Force Awakens, came out of the cinema and thought, what the hell is that? Then I saw Rogue One and loved it. Disney's the Mickey Mouse company. Drum roll, Shabby. Yeah. It's weird to me after watching that thing last night, and then obviously the thing before this was Acolyte, the thing before that was Skeleton Crew or whatever. It's all over the place, Star Wars. I understand they're making different genres for different people. I understand that. But really, when it comes to a franchise as huge as Star Wars, it should be for everybody. Everybody should get involved in Acolyte, Rogue One, Andor, and so, you know what I mean? You should watch them all. And
listen, if you put politics and modern agenda in anything, you are going to upset somebody. If I was Disney, I would just leave all that crap out. Let us get on with the bloody news that we get 24 hours a day and make a good fantasy adventure story that we all watch Star Wars for. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, politics and fantasy to me are the most stupid mix of them all.
I've been to 2 Star Wars celebrations, says RJT. I enjoyed them, but being there is better than YouTube coverage. The celebration live broadcast was just selling merchandise. It's just the way everyone, they overdo it to me. And it's like, you get actually excited coming on crying again. And I'm like, what are you crying about? Honestly, it's like, it drives me mental. Everyone starts crying over Star Wars.
Where's your heart for Ahsoka?
Yeah,
what's that with you?
The thing is about it, what are you crying over Star Wars for?
Well, she's a very emotional woman, Mark. She's quite emotional. She lost the job to somebody else.
Donald says, I watch YouTube most of the time. The only TV I watch is the odd series and news. I don't watch soaps or cheap reality TV series, which seems to dominate TV.
See, I mean, it's not YouTube. What you watching? Bloody bargain on.
Disney's the Powerland Star Wars. He's not joking, is he?
No.
Yep, Si, I know great books with great stories in them. Instead, this is what we get. Books was we had as Jedi. Still had the Imperial Remitter and Luke got married. Yeah, you're exactly right. Because it's LA. You're not fancy it, G-Force. You're not fancy LA. Let's have a look. Oh, we've just read that one. Agreed. I watch YouTube more than any other streaming service. Yeah. I suppose you're right. It's like when I'll sit down, Dario, and I'll have my tea. I'll put YouTube on, just catch up on the news and little 5-minute segments here and there, listen to Talk Sport, that kind of thing. So, yeah, I do. When Disney makes me
I've done all this Disney talking and we forgot to put the meme up. And it's the meme.
No, but one meme I am going to put up, though, that intrigued me when you said this, was this one. Now, what is this all about? So, Simon a penny farthing.
Right.
Is that a real picture as well, Si? Real picture?
Yeah. I was thinking last week about stuff like I do.
Right.
And I thought, I've always wanted to ride a penny farthing. Like, I've always wanted to ride one. And I don't know where they've gone. And then I thought, is there any modern penny farthings? Obviously, there is.
Yeah.
Because my point is, like, what happened to this bike? I mean, obviously, it was a bit of a danger trap. And apparently, it was really, really hard to steer. But I've always wanted to ride a penny farthing. So my point is, if there was any vehicle or anything like that you've never rolled but you'd love to, what would it be? For me, it'd have to be a penny farthing. I'd love a go.
Right, so you all think about this, right? I had the assumption that you said, "Oh yeah, I pulled out an old penny farthing," but your idea is just to ask me. But you'd never get on a penny. How are you going to get on a penny farthing? Imagine me trying to get on a penny farthing.
You've got to do this. It's like there's a thing at the back of it, like a step, and you've got to do. I like getting on a horse a bit, but you do it from the back. But I think somebody has to hold the bike up for you. I don't think it's. I think your bike has to be held up.
There's two. Look at me, penny farthing expert. There's two the spokes or something. You stand on it, then you just jump on it, don't you? As it's going.
And it's got a little thing like that to steer with. Because obviously you steer the whole, the tire with it. If it's a bigger.
Go air potholes. Imagine Simon's to be on one of them. Oh.
I would love a go though, would you? So I was thinking, I wonder what you in the chat. What would you like to ride?
Well,
outside of Linda Carter and Victoria Pitstop.
Wow. What would I like to have a go on? What are you laughing at? I was going to tell you. The thing, the ski slope thing. You know when you've got like I forgot what it's the Salem. Do you know when you're on that little tray? you're on a little tray in the Olympics.
Oh yeah,
like
the luge. That's the luge.
I'd have a go at the luge. How much fun would that be? Imagine me in that spandex.
You really think a penny farthing is more dangerous than the luges?
Well, no, we didn't talk about danger.
I'm not doing 90 miles an hour on a penny farthing on corners with my ankles on show.
Oh, well, but the luge would be fun, Si. Think about it on the luge. 90 miles an hour around an ice slope corner. It's a lot
on your
more
back.
It's not enjoyable. Well, where are you going to go with your penny farthing? Do you know, some village?
The co-op. Pull up outside co-op. Get off. Everybody go, whoa, he's back. Penny farthing, what was that?
G-Force, it's a penny farthing.
Farthing.
Carol would like to have a go on Sydney Sweeney.
I'd like to go, Carol. Yeah.
Idea vehicle if you're a T-Rex. Got a good point. The penny farthing has to be one of the most worst designed vehicles in history. It does really, in a way, doesn't it? Imagine
that's where I want to go. That's why I'd like to have a go on it, because it's supposed to be really hard to like. But I think if one of them, I suppose, if you got the knack at it, you'd be mint on it.
Yeah, but what? You'd be mint on it. What do you mean? What did you do on it? There we go. That's a good one. I'd like to drive a tank. Parker would never be a problem. Tank would be good, yeah. If this thing knows an accent in my defence, a penny farthing. Oh, a unicycle. Has anyone in the chat ever been on a uni? I've never. Come on to me on a unicycle.
I've never been. I've had a few goals. It's not as easy as what you think. I've had a few goals on a unicycle, but hard.
It's called a penny farthing because of the different sized wheels, G-Force. A penny and a farthing. Exactly right, Kieran. Exactly right. By the way, I'm blown away. I've only got 15 subs away from 1,000. Wow, well done, buddy. That's awesome.
Well, I haven't subbed yet, and I'm not going to.
Luge goes super. Yeah, but that's the thing. Penny farthing would be a bit rickety as well, be boring. But a luge side.
No way. I've seen them in the Winter Olympics. I like the Winter Olympics more than the Summer Olympics, because the Winter Olympics looks a lot like somebody's going to have an accident. They're going to go. All the things seem to be dead dangerous, don't they?
Yeah.
All the events.
A luge would be pretty cool. How'd you get into the luge, though? How'd you like? Oh, this is a sport for me. I'll have a go with that. I'll sit on a tray. I'll sit on a tray and I'll do that. Donut says we have a vintage bike rally done in my village every year. Many penny farthings. What do you think to that?
I'm going to come and have a go.
A street. I love the says a steamroller. I could toast my muffins and fill in the potholes with these. Just stop, okay, protesters. They are. He's thinking there's 3 things in one there, Si. With Si's tripod reputation, I'm surprised you can get on a penny farthing.
So I've never had one, Dave.
With his reputation. Look at him. With his reputation. Gap, iron gap. Oh.
Gap.
I would definitely drive a 66. Yeah, but that's boring, G-Force. That's it. Anyway, we can drive.
Knobhead. You've come out with some knobhead statements in your life.
Yeah,
but to turn there and say the 66 Batmobile would be boring is, I find, extremely offensive.
Not boring. I mean, we can all do that. We can all get in the Batmobile and drive it, but can we all do the luge? Can we all?
Only Batman can. Only Batman can.
Only Batman, right. I'm not so far off of ever going to Zimmer frame. Well, yeah, I suppose.
It's exciting.
Grateful for getting subs. Well, that's good. And congratulations. Yeah. That's awesome. We don't know a farthing from a farting in the States.
Well, uncultured. No, literature.
I like the way you say uncultured, like people are still going around Blackpool on penny farthing. Good evening. Yeah.
Good evening. Put the lamps out.
There were the T-Rex arms. Hello. So stupid. Shabby Geek, I sent you a pink of a vintage bike rally. Thank you, but tell me where you sent it so that I can find it. The bobsled with the guys from Cool Runnings will be yours. See, Cat's thinking, G-Force. That's what I meant. Something like,
You see, Claire would do that because it's Claire's favourite film, Cool Runnings. She loves Cool Runnings for some reason. I don't know why, but she does. So she'd probably do that.
Are you dead?
Yeah.
That was part of the question. Well, yeah, but what I'm saying, G-Force, is like, what? All right, let me put it another way. What other worldly thing would you ride? Would you have a go on? Zoe, you could take your shape.
No, because if you had a giant egg on a penny farthing, the chances are you'd sit, wouldn't you? Because you'd be like heavy-sided.
Our Des would have a go at driving an ATAT. I bet that's hard to do. You need 2 drivers for that, don't you? You always need 2.
An ATAT?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, 2 for 2 legs. What, 2 for another leg in it? I don't know.
Other than an ATAT, a land speed would be pretty good. I'd like to, or a speeder bike, and a speeder bike would be awesome, wouldn't it? To do a speeder bike. Vintage Bike Rally was the name for the ladies' night at Ilford. Brilliant. Maybe it's Claire's interested in tight lycra, Si. Well, maybe that's what it is. Do you know what I mean? I'd have a
Especially
go at
on
the
me.
Red Bull. There you go. Now I'd have a go at that. But I don't like watching the accidents. On some of those accidents, you're like, oh
No,
man,
because they're not going to be sore, but you're not going to break anything, are you? It's only
you
like
never
a
know. You put one up of the two Tron bikes. That
yeah,
crashed
cool, like that.
but
Until
see,
the last one is smashed to bits.
if they had penny farthings in Blackpool, they would all end up stuck on tram lines. That's pretty obvious, yeah. All be pulling into stations and swapping over riders. Yeah. You got a helmet. Yes, the scrap thing would be pretty good. That would be awesome. Here we go. Here's something else for us to talk about. Si, you're going to love this one. So this is another thing that Si wanted to bring up. And this is pretty funny, this. I've laughed at this all week. It is this. Oh,
There you are. Star Trek right there, the new crew. I have never seen such bollocks in my life, ever. They never even went up in that thing. Never. And anyway, I had this row online the other week and somebody went to me, but it was live. I was like, what does live mean nowadays? Did you see these get in, take off, go around, come back down, and get back out again? No, you didn't.
It's a bit weird that though, because you see, that's where I mean, I've laughed about the memes and so forth have been absolutely brilliant, and I won't mind. Right, this is the way I work it out. I think it's a great experience, regardless of whether they, I know you're not too sure they went up or not, but if they would have come down and gone, oh, that was awesome! What a great ride that was! But all this talk about love and connections were the first astronauts and female empowerment, and I was like, "What? The thing didn't even stop; it went up and then down in 11 minutes. So they're actually literally. So the reason they're weightless is simply with it coming back down. The trajectory of him coming back down again made him weight, just like you are on a roller coaster.
To escape the Earth's atmosphere is a creation of 5G, and it showed Katy Perry in this cockpit, mouth wide open, gobshite like the Mersey Tunnel. Right. Her head would have crushed like a peanut under 5G. And she's like, this is wonderful. I've never seen anything like it.
Do you know that butterfly she's holding? She's holding this butterfly and she lets it float. On it, there's all the tour dates.
Please kill me. Just kill me.
And the weirdest thing, did you see that thing about the door as well? That the door actually opened in and it's like this woman went out and shouted, no, shut the door. And so they shut it straight away. And then he came up, Jeff Bezos, with that metal thing to open it like it was a problem.
And let me ask you something else as well. Yeah. Why were you all dressed like the bastard Avengers? Everyone's an Avenger. Avenger. We're going into space because I'm an Avenger.
It was so stupid.
And I thought that women that were enhanced, as in the sake of lips and in the sake of chests and cheekbones and stuff, are supposed to fly at high altitudes in a plane. But you put this plastic lot in a bloody spaceship and send them. I've never, honestly. It's insulting when they think these people think we're so stupid, don't they? This might get your channel blocked.
You're very unsubscribed from Shabby Geek. I'm cutting.
I've never seen such crap like it.
Well, GeForce just said astronauts.
Astronauts.
That's the thing. Sometimes I've got to admit, as a regular bloke, like we all are, sometimes it makes you think when you stop laughing and stuff like, you sit back and think, do these lot really think we are that stupid? That we are just
the best is when it lands, right? Oh, it lands. It's there in the ground. And then somebody opens the door from the inside, which you can't do in any pressurized compartment. And then 10 minutes later, Bezos comes off with his silver key. Open the door.
That's what I was saying. It was weird because when it was on the floor, they kind of opened the door a bit, and that lady goes running up and saying, "Shut the door," and then he comes up.
Never, honestly, it's insulting, isn't it? But I think again, you learn more. We've learned a lot more, especially since the birth of the internet. You can't hide this sort of stuff anymore, but you don't half get sloppy.
It was just, and then she's coming down kissing the floor, like, I won't mind. Those real astronauts were up there 9 months. Do you know what I mean?
Listen, I like Katy Perry, and it's just the farce of what's going on. Like Katy Perry, she's lovely. I'd like her around her like the penny farthing, but I don't believe she went to space. Do you know what I mean?
Katy Perry fell into a puddle and now goes to 17. It's just weird. It was just the thing about it. The whole thing was weird, but it's like I say when they come down saying we've changed it for women for the future. But I'm sure there was a real professional female astronauts that have done this. The real ones.
They're all like
that. I mean? So when you come over here, when you come to America, you're in coach on that plane. When you come over and people ask you what you do, just say pilot.
Honestly, just put that picture back up again. Just flick that picture back up, right? Just look what they're wearing. This is brilliant. Look, Fantastic Four. It's absolutely brilliant.
Let's have a look.
Like, how many astronauts have you seen dressed like this in your time? Or all of a sudden, are these real like superhero suits now? And like, look at them. It's absolutely brilliant. And I like the 1 second in that's got like you down here, like the Cannonball Run girl. Look how sexy I am as an astronaut.
He's nice, oh, she is nice.
Oh, they're all very pretty ladies. There's no doubt about that. I'm not saying anything there.
And then Gail Kingside, the one that's on the far left, she's Oprah's best mate. She does ABC, the Good Morning Show on ABC.
I thought it was Loose Women or something, yeah.
She's not happy at all that it's not gone the way they want. And apparently the thing now is Katy Perry's cancelled all the tour dates because of it. She's not going on it.
Why is she going back? She's off to Mars next.
Maybe to Mars. That's the thing, you know. It's funny that they're all mad now that it didn't go the way they wanted it to go. But what did you expect us all to say when you come down going, I'm the greatest female astronaut? Do you know what I mean? It's like
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, you're right. I loved how they had to pretend Jeff Space was once over. That was the best part. And here's another thing too. I was watching somebody online, and because I don't know anything about space or whatever, but I do know that usually when the thing comes down, the cockpit or whatever it's called, it's usually burnt to a crisp, isn't it? It's usually like this was spotless. I was like,
also, is it just me, or did they land these things in the sea? What they thought, we'll take 6 very important, very wealthy millionaire women and we'll drop them in the desert. It was like, and all the floaty things that were sat on and stuff. No, they're going to space, Mark. And I don't know if you've seen any journeys to space, but they seem to have a lot more gear on than the Fantastic Four strapped in. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like I said, and I'll be honest, I would have a lot more respect if they would have come, oh, that was awesome, what a great experience and that, but not like talking down to the rest of us because they're astronauts. You know what I mean?
Neil Aiden Perry.
It was just weird. They were in the upper atmosphere, not in space. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. What an experience! But Si, you said something as well at the start of this conversation that intrigued me. Why did you not see him going up and coming? And did you hear him all screaming in the cockpit when it was coming down? Astronauts don't scream like that.
And how come not one of them looked frightened to death? Not one of them. Oh, sorry. Do celebrities in America go to the space a lot or something? I went last week after Tesco's. I thought to dip up for a bit. None of them look frightened to death. If it was me, you'd see my knuckles for weeks like that.
You're not on your own there, Simon. He says even our gaps like the Blue Origin penis which those women was fake.
Totally fake.
Yeah. Cheers, Hoppy. See you, pal. It was weird. They weren't even wearing full suits with helmets, but that's the thing she was going on about. Well, we had training. They learned how to get into a seat and put a buckle on. That's all it was. That's
training, Mark. Listen, yesterday I watched the Russian ballet on YouTube. That was training. Do you think I'm going to start working for him next week?
Jeff Bezos is space.
Jesus Christ.
Well, you just got a Wendy's in Blackpool, right? Right. And Wendy's just went to war with Katy Perry for some reason on Twitter. He's got a kiss in the floor. Wendy's just wrote, "Can we send her back?" What? I was like, wow, Wendy's having a go at her. You know, obviously she must have said something about Vegas. It was weird. It was Josie and the Pussycats. Yeah. As far as Bezos, did you see him?
It's so stupid, buddy.
It was just stupid. And like I said, without repeating myself, I would have had a lot more respect, me, if they would have just gone, yeah, that was awesome. What a great experience. And thanks for doing that. I know. But it's just the way they were talking, like they were up there, they'd found Mars or something like
Oh
that.
God, I know. We've discovered aliens and new life.
It was bullshit. Yeah, exactly right. Gap says
Oh.
all those women had to go back to plastic surgery because all those Botox injections moved around with it. It's awesome.
They should come down.
I'm having the time of my life.
They all come down that look like Gail Platt. Oh, brilliant.
Donut says, I heard it cost them 150 grand deposit to go on it. And what did Katy Perry say? Something like she's been doing it forever. She's doing it for everyone. Yeah, everyone who's a multimillionaire. It's all right, mates, like Jeff Bezos, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, not so bad.
Yeah, that's it. This I told you.
I'm watching my Dobot for Black Men tonight. Men in Black.
Exactly. After this, I'm going to go movie with G-Boss. The door opening inward was also a giveaway, as the doors on stuff like that always open. Because they do. On a plane, it does the same thing.
Exactly. You open that door, you big go like that. Just like how that under ocean boat did. That submarine. Yeah, he's held his little key. Little key.
As it prevents the capsule getting squashed due to high pressure. I thought that myself. There was something that it was dead thing too. And there was another part when they're in space or wherever they were, and one of them stands up, you know, when they're weightless, and she kicks the window. Her foot's actually on the window, and I'm like, it's a bit dodgy that.
They're in a nice studio, Mark, and all these people that went, but they were floating. They were floating around. I'm like, have you not seen planes do that? Planes go to a certain altitude for a test of astronauts, and then they drop. And when they drop, whoa! Do you know what I mean? You have to be in space for that.
It was a weird thing. It could have been something that was celebrated by everybody, and they just turned it into a farce. Then the astronaut Barbie coming to a store. Yeah, William Shatner, he did do it.
Well,
and he didn't go on like this. And you'd expect someone who's been in, you know, a science fiction thing since the 60s, and everyone like more or less represents him with space. You know, that he'd have gone on for hours, right? And he never went on like this. He probably loved it. Yeah. Women empowerment, but a bloke had to open the door. But well,
can you open the door for me, love?
It was pricey. Yeah, my mate was on the moon at the time. I can confirm they were. Hello, priceless. Bezos's girlfriend was one of the crew, I think, as well. Yeah, she was. Yeah. Listen, I'm all for them doing it.
Hey, listen, Donald. With his money, there were all these girlfriends. Every one of them.
You're going on about those spacesuits. What G-Force is like, well, pops to those spacesuits. Yeah, they look, you know. What's more plastic in those women's faces than the entire Blue Origins? Hey, Rob. Word, yeah. Perry cancelled her, so she has done it, yeah, because they didn't sell any tickets. I thought it was because of this. They put it over here that she's upset over there. But what the thing about it is, it's like I say, what do you expect? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Normal people are over here shelling out $9-10 for a dozen eggs, and yet we're supposed to be inspired by Katy Perry going on.
Well, what's the Daisy thing about? What was that about? Is this like life in space?
Well, she was connected to love. She's found love. She is love. We're all loved. And the Daisy, apparently, was for her daughter. So she went up there and did it. But you just said something before then. It was a bit weird that all these women that are worth millions, you know what I mean, to go on a journey like that, because there could have been an accident. There could have been, you know what I mean? So, but listen, is what it is, I suppose. Yeah, even when he's had to go to you, that made me laugh. That it really did. So good old Rob's turned up. Hiya, Rob. It would have been very funny if someone had one of them motion sixes. Can you imagine him up there? One's got a Daisy, all of a sudden she pulls out because it's Star Wars sticker. That's what I would have done. This'll do, coaster.
Well, here's one for you, Mark, right?
Yeah.
You're a multi-millionaire and your life's comfortable and you're all this and you're quite famous. And I've come up to you and I'm your mate, Jeff. And I've said, I've got a rocket. Do you want to come on it next week? Going to blow you to space or not? What's the first thing you're going to say? No. And so they all went, yeah, and they all loved it like they were on a bloody roller coaster. I've never seen shit like it.
I would have done. I would have wet myself. Yeah. The thing about me is I've got no reason to go to space. To do what?
Have a look.
travel to come down and inspire everybody. You know what I mean? Everybody like, shut up, Shabby. What are you talking about? They can't look frightened size the Botox takes care of that.
Yeah, maybe that's right, Cat. Maybe they're all terrified, but they're like, oh.
The reason why they screamed coming down was because none of them knew how to reverse properly.
That wasn't you.
I'd like everyone to, anyone who's watching on the replay, their thoughts of Keith Knight. Keith Knight does not represent the Shabby King.
Not at all.
But you are right. they were actually dressed like they were in Emmanuel in Space. Yes, that's a real movie. Emmanuel in Space. Be funny if the Blue Origin rocket meant Branson's Virgin rocket. Very good, PGM. Very good. I think it was on. I think the Titan. Is that Titan?
I think the Titan was under way more pressure in the ocean than those girls experienced.
What do you
Maybe.
think?
I don't think they went. I think it was a load of rubbish.
Next week, Katy Perry goes up Blackpool Tower as a start of a new job as his steeplejack. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. The air pressure will be higher in the rocket than outside, just like a plane. That's so. Yeah, you're agreeing with John and me. I always thought that because when it opened up, it looked dead thin for one. It looked like a Citroen door. Do you remember those old Citroen TVs in the 80s? Dead thin doors. It looked like that.
Mark. When you get in a plane, right, and you sit there and you see and you look round, what does that cabin girl do with that door? She goes like this. Conk, 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 conk. Tightens everything up.
Right.
This guy walks along with a little key. Just open it up. Here they come. Come on, ladies. Out you come. Little key. Crazy.
Would it be funny if you see Perry in the camera shot in space with her flower while background and none of his puking? You see this floating. And then
like Leah. Like Leah and
just weird. It was just a weird situation. Here's another thing that we want to discuss. This we were quite surprised at this on Monday, and Si made this. So what do you think?
And that's it. We just wanted to show you that. That's all it was. You know.
Although we can make a topic out of this. So, Adam, if you watched the first episode of Top 5 in your collection, and thank you all, by the way, you made it awesome. I'm fully booked now, Si, till the middle of June. So everyone was well on for it, and I really appreciate everyone watching and supporting it. I really enjoy. I'm going to keep that going. So thank you all very much. But anyway, I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but Adam's honourable mention was Vanilla Ice albums, right? Which is easy to sit there and go, oh. But at the time, because I used to like Brother Beyond and Jason and I was always into that pop, like Stockhaven and Walkman kind of thing, as well as Vanilla Ice. Were you not? No, I know you liked your hip hop or whatever, but
no, I was not. Let's be fair here. No, I was not. Well, you were ponted about to Jason Donovan, and he was ponted about to Vanilla Ice. I was listening to Public Enemy and Run DMC and Biz Markie and Big Daddy Kane, and no, I did not like any of the blonde boys in the charts at all.
I did though. Do you not remember at the Palace nightclub in Blackpool side? They had Stockhaven and Rick Astley was on and Bros was on. Do you not remember Kylie and Jason? We'd stand there in the Palace at 14. I should be so lucky.
Stomping.
Yeah, exactly. Let's hang up to what we've got.
Connor said something the other day made me laugh. The London Boys. Remember the London Boys? That made me laugh.
That's what I mean. London Night Star. They were great. The thing about it is, the funniest thing is, you're acting right as though you're cool and you listen to all your hip hop and stuff, but you remember all those songs. As soon as one of them comes on, you're going to go, oh, yeah, and all that sort of stuff. No?
No. Yeah, I know what you're saying. That's why it's pop music, popular music for that sort of thing. But I was a bit more underground than that, even as a kid. I preferred East Coast hip hop. I just did. Drum and bass started in '92 for me, and I never looked back. Do you know what I mean? But I suppose I love all sorts of music. I mean, I'm eclectic. I love everything from Doris Day to the Wu-Tang Clan. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of music I do like. But for that sort of pop exchange, like your Brosses and your Jason Donovans and no,
Oh, I was
no,
banging them all. Des says, and this is why Si's the coolest out of you both. Thanks, Des. I appreciate that. Look at that. Whoa. Des has chosen sides must be a red thing.
One thing we do agree on, Mark, I suppose,
Yeah.
for you, mean music-wise, in a sense, was the love of the indie music of the 90s. It's just, it was something else. One of your days of the Charlatans and Cast and Oasis, and do you know what I mean? And New Order was still knocking about, and they were some great times in the 90s for music like that. Stone Roses have always been number one.
Echo Belly. There was loads of them.
Where's all those great bands today? Where are they all today?
I have the Blue Tones. I have a list on my Spotify. It's all Britpop, and
they're in Blackpool next week. The Blue Tones doing a gig in Blackpool.
It's weird, isn't it? Because we're looking at over 30 years now. 30 years, like the Stone. You listen to the Stone Roses, and it's 89, and it still sounds like it was made today. Exactly. That's one thing I will say about Britpop. Mate, it kept its. It's like if you hear disco, you know it's from the 70s, 80s. Do you know what I mean? Or you listen to old school hip hop like Gangsters, you know the year it's from. But Britpop has that kind of timeless kind of thing to it, I think.
Because there's soul in a band, isn't there? There's soul there. It's not all from a computer featuring. Everything's featuring today, isn't it? Featuring. Shabby featuring Si.
Yeah. No.
Back in the day, there was like soul. It was a band. They put music together. It was like, there was a talent to it. Do you know what I mean?
Stockade and Waterman, Everton. What the hell happened, Shabby? What do you mean? I think that's awesome stuff. 2 words, Spike Island. You see,
he knows. He knows he's choosing.
Indie music from 90 to 94 was an amazing. So many great bands, and I loved Ride myself, as they were from Oxford, my nearest town. Yeah, I liked Ride. I liked all the bands. I like Muse. I love Radiohead. But it's funny that sort of music I don't think ever changed. It's got a nice The Warning. Yeah, just played Brixton on the 17th. I like The Warning. Jason Donovan left former Callum Minogue spinning around. Nice, Gaffer. See what you did there. See what you did. Just realised size a different mug. Where is the Union Jack?
Well, I'll tell you a little secret, Zoe, behind the scenes. At 10 o'clock, I always get another brew from one of the ladies that lives in this house. So I start off with this cup, and then by 9 o'clock after, I'm with this cup. Good spotting, Zoe. Good spotting.
I despise Stockade and Waterman. No, you didn't. I reckon.
Well,
you know
listen, he did, because Dave's from the mean streets of Hudding, so he grew up with hardcore hip hop and gangster rap. So he wouldn't have been a fan. No.
Well, yeah, you've got a good point there, being from the Hood already. Yeah, you got a point. But how can you hate him though? It's funny because I'm sorry for.
It's not a hating thing. It's not. I hate it. It was just music that, as a kid, made me go. Yeah, it wasn't like, as you get older, you know every lyric of these songs and you sing them all because they're around every day. It was just never my thing. It was just
but
sort of thing at all.
I don't know. I like that kind of it. For all the English that probably know, I don't know whether it was on in Ireland or anywhere else, but we used to have a show at 2 o'clock in the morning. What was it called, Si? They want to go into all the nightclubs.
Hitman
and Her. So this show, you'd go out for a night out, everybody else, and you'd come home about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And it started at 2 o'clock, wasn't it? And it was Stockade, Waterman was it, size somebody, and Michaela Strachan. They go to a nightclub. And it'd be
I went to 2 Hitman and Her gigs. I went to the Palace in Blackpool for Palace, and I went to the Eclipse in Coventry when the Hitman and Her were there.
It was an absolute pointless 2-hour show, wasn't it? But we all loved it because they go into like a nightclub in Wigan.
Yeah. There's always that guy, wasn't there? What was he called? That guy that was just wearing that white wig. Just did those mad moves in his underpants.
Yeah, he was always in his underpants, wasn't he? Yeah.
If you're there, I promise it.
There's a great band that plays in the Winter Gardens.
She's a knobhead, isn't she?
Very good. Yeah. There's a thought. Vanilla ice, eat your hot chocolate. Chocolate. The charts are a joke nowadays. You get songs from the charts for years now, not weeks, but years. Mr. Brightside by the Killers. You know, the funniest thing is, I was watching this thing on TikTok. It was a Radio 5 DJ. And he was saying in the past 10 years, 3 bands, like actual musician bands, have been number 1. 3 in 10 years in England.
I'm not surprised.
Makes you
Listen,
think, yeah, shocking,
I'm not
that,
knocking
though.
electric music. I'm not knocking it for the fact of it. I'm just like,
It's just,
I was painting this house the other week,
Yeah.
and I was just put the radio on, and it's like just one continuous song today, isn't it? It just sounds like a song that's been going on for 5 hours.
Do you think by not selling physical media did it? Because there's no such thing. I mean, I know vinyl's made a comeback, but really, vinyl is I don't think kids now. It was like I can't remember my daughter 18 talking about an album, recent album. Tyler the Creator. She loves Tyler the Creator. She's bought a few things of him. But when we were young, it was album after album. Remember the Verve? And then Pulp, and then Oasis, and then you got Blur, and you got Muse and Radio. There was always a Jamiroquai. I mean, I know Jamiroquai gets stick over here, but I loved Jamiroquai, and I bought everywhere.
Yeah.
It was always the thing, wasn't it, Simon? How many Public Enemy albums did we buy? Do you know what I mean? Or Big Daddy Kane,
Well,
or
I think,
NWA.
you know what, Mark? Maybe like Blockbuster, and maybe like when we talk about the love of videos we used to pick up, and you'd always get a film that was just out, you'd always get someone that looked mint, and there was magic in that. You know, it was there were great times, and anyone even in the chat now, when you think about them times you did that, you can even feel that video shop aura now. You can smell it. There was such magic in it, and I think that's what's destroyed music, where music's become wishy-washy today, because that magic's gone. You and me, kid, every Saturday, HMV, our price, 7-inch records, non-stop. We'd get back on that bus, wouldn't we? Our little bag full of tunes and stuff that we, you know what I mean? And it's gone, that, hasn't it? It's like.
But think about when me and you. I'm gonna not do myself any favors here, but I'm gonna say it because, right? Think about me and you went out and bought 45s like the albums. Look at what you'd buy, and look at what I'd buy. Man, it'd be Nothing Can Divide Us by Jason Donovan.
Man, it'd be Push It by Salt and Pepper.
By Brother Beyond, and you'd be like buying Big Daddy.
Nothing Beyond. Oh, brilliant.
There's a difference in it.
But do you know what I mean, though, Mark? The magic's gone for me. Do you not think that? Do you think that it's not? Listen, new technology's mint, and I'd rather things on streaming and things that you could easily fast forward and get a quick of a button. That's fantastic. But I think that love, that magic of buying an album, going out, finding a tune that you loved, is gone. It's definitely gone.
Yeah, I agree. Here's a question, Simon. Stockaken and Waterman or Simon Cowell? Simon Cowell. What?
Oh, I don't know. Simon Cowell had Sunita, and Sunita is a bit of a number, isn't she?
Yeah, she was. I every time you say the word Sunita, I just think of those leaves.
Bit of a number, Sunita.
I feel bloody old. I grew up on Madness to Specials, but that's the thing, though. Where are those bands now? And there used to be a time
like the Specials, not anymore.
Yeah, but there used to be a time where your top 10 was all different genres of music. You'd have country and western to rock and roll to, obviously, you know what I mean? What's it called? That ska music, punk rock. It's like it's all roughly the same type of thing now, isn't it? So I've seen Gowell, definitely. You guys had a great show, Top of the Pops. I love that show. Yeah, is Top of the Pops still going, or is that finished?
I think now and again we'll do like a Christmas special and go off Top of the Pops, but Top of the Pops is still rerun and on every single day. And I'm always watching Top of the Pops 84 and a Christmas special from 87, and it's on all the time.
I grew up with the old Grey Whistle Test and Checkers Plays Path and all that. Yeah,
Great show.
I like The Word. Do you remember The Word and TGI Fridays and all that? On a Friday, they'd play a decent band, wouldn't they? And
Friday nights on Channel 4 used to be fantastic to stay in, didn't they? Friends would be on, The Word would be on, Bowl Selector, the 11 o'clock show. It was a great time, wasn't it? You know, and then The Word. There'd always be something crazy happened on The Word, wouldn't there? Always.
I think it's especially when you're talking about us sort of collectors, because it's like I said, there's a few lads in the chat that collect albums still and soundtracks and DVDs, and maybe it's because of the loss of physical media. Maybe that's what it is. That's why. But it's just weird. I just can't remember the last time someone talked about an album, like a recent album. Like, this album is brilliant. Maybe we're too old. I don't know, but
I don't really think it plays on much albums anymore, Mark. I think it's single sales. I think it's the single. I mean, you name me. All right, then here's one for you. I'll say to you, Taylor Swift. What was her last album called?
It was called Up the Rocket with Katie. That's what, I loved it. It was brilliant. It was all about.
That's what I mean. You've no idea, have you?
No
And I'd say
idea.
another thing that's lost in albums as well. Great album covers is gone.
Brilliant
Gone.
gap. What's your next album? What is it?
No, I didn't say that, Mark. I said great album covers. The covers have gone. When's the last time you saw a great album cover? Like, you can remember so many iconic covers in the past. And today, name me one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There was, I mean, well, that's what it was in a way. Your album was like a comic book. It was your cover that sold it, wasn't it? Really? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that is a good point. 50 Cent's coming out with a new album cycled £1.50 because of inflation. G-Force says, I don't understand how folks can get stuck on one genre of music. There is something out there for every mood or emotion you're going through music. Because yeah, I agree with that. You know, I'm man and Si's dad's a musician, a professional musician, and my mum always played music. Always. I'm Mark. My real name is Mark, obviously, as you know, after Mark Bolan from T-Rex, and my son's called Jude after. So music's always been a thing for us, hasn't it, Si? I can't think, Si, growing up in our house where there was no music. There was music every day.
Listen, above everything, watching movies, TV shows, above anything, I'd rather go for a record collection than anything.
Yeah. We've established music today is shit. Films today is shit. Today is shit. Toys today is shit. Star Wars today is shit. Oh my god. No,
well, I did say, come and talk shit with me. I did say it.
It's in the title, VTR.
It's in the title, Dave.
Too old to be still taking drugs too. Well, that's another point. Yeah. Well, it's words, but I don't get it. New tech has removed the anticipation we enjoyed when we were queuing in the Woolies. Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point, you know. But I suppose it's things like your radio on a Sunday and Top of the Pops, stuff like that. What Gat was saying before, that got you, you know, music was very advertised on it when we were growing up. Do you know what I mean? So you'd go out and buy your late, and you knew what day. Was it a Tuesday when music would come out? It was I know it was a day through the week, wasn't it, where the singles would come out.
I think it was Wednesdays. Was it not Wednesday? Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday at 2, was it? The new albums are coming, singles will be out. I think.
Yeah, raves are straight out of this age. That's true. That's true. Top of the Pops peaked with Sabrina.
He's not wrong there, is he? He's not wrong there, though, is he?
He's definitely not wrong.
Not wrong there.
So good. Remember the L7 performance on that show? L7? Who's L7? I've never heard of L7. If I ever can't remember. I don't think there's been a movement over music over 20 years. Coincidence, it's the same time as the X Factor. Maybe things like that blew it up too, like American Idol, Britain's Got Talent, that kind of thing. But I don't know. It's a shame, really, if you think about it, because we're all, I think, everybody in the chat and most of us are all musically inclined, aren't we? It'd be nice to, you know, well, where do you start? I wouldn't know where to start, to tell you the truth, you know. We all had a show called RTR Ready to Roll in the 80s. That's what they had in New Zealand. I am going to go to my first concert in July. Wow, okay. I know it's the Eras tour. That was the album too. G-Force. It was the Torches Poets department, I believe. There you go. Let's have a look. L17. Just got a shock in my brain recalling it. I don't remember L17. Bring back guitar and amp. That's what I mean.
L7. There's no 17 there, you plum.
I played in bands covering us.
Just give up. Why do you not put your glasses on? I don't get it.
I can see all right. I
like it when Stu does it, and every 5 minutes Georgie goes, look at the big screen. Look at the big screen.
it's, you know, I've got to admit, it's getting used to him. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. He's like, well, I have to wear glasses, but I suppose I do. I played in bands covering all sorts of music genres. Some I loved, some I hated. I had to learn to play different styles from country and western to heavy metal. I suppose if you're in a band, you have to do that, you know.
Yeah.
So L7, is that right? Pretending that we were dead. I think that was a song. Everyone keeps telling me about L7, but no one's actually telling me who they are.
I remember him. It's them girls that stripped off, didn't they? They all pulled the pants down and stuff. They were just crazy. I remember him, yeah.
Oh, was that on The Word?
Yeah. You don't remember that girls pulled the pants down, playing like to tell us not bothered.
No, kind of. I kind of remember it. Joy Division, brilliant band, yeah. and it was only 8 or 9 p.m. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Joy Division. You're right, Gilster. Yes, Des. The only song I can recall of theirs, I saw them on one of their Lollapaloozas. Is that? I know they are, but I will. I'll wear him.
Not
Sammy
for the
Willis-
vein, those are we? Are they? Not for the vein, are they?
I know it's not a case of being. It's not a vain thing.
Not for the vein, are we?
The worst thing is, I'll tell you what it is. It's because it gets so hot over here. My glasses steam up and I can't see anything. I look like a Benny Hill skit. Shabby just got a deerstalker hat and a magnifying glass. Would be interesting. YouTube, give me a hackle. I'll have a go at that. Yeah, got to go. Got some L7 videos to watch. All nerds and geeks wear glasses. I'm getting used to him. I am, but it's only been about 18 months. But I am getting used to him. But I don't know. It's weird. Our last thing to talk about, Si, something that you picked, which is right here, is this.
Yeah.
So what is it about this that you want to talk about, our Si?
Well, it was you and me were talking the other week, and we were talking about, what happens if Hasbro finished doing the Black Series and they went on to another company, like either a Super 7 or a Mattel or anybody else got Star Wars. And you said to me, I will not start this off again. There's no way I'm going to continue buying from another company all over again.
Right.
My point of view in that is I absolutely love the multiverse by McFarlane. I think they've done absolutely fantastic. And as a big Batman and DC fan, they've given us in these years nearly everything I've ever dreamed about. How many times have I come on to you at a weekend and gone, I can't believe they've made a Deathman figure from the 90s. And I can't believe they've done that figure. So on and so on. And it's got to a point with me where I think that McFarlane, as a DC licensee, are almost done. Do you know what I mean? Outside, I'd like to see the 3 Superman 2 villains, and I think that would be happy with. Another thing I'm happy with is I like it when a line finishes. I do. When a line says, that's it, I'm like, fantastic. You can go back and pick up what you wanted to go back and pick up. You know nothing's new is going to come into all this pre-ordering and hard to get figures, and this one's exclusive, and that's all over and done with. And looking lately at the past years of what Mattel have been doing with these He-Man figures, especially their Masterverse ones, I'm quite excited to see what they are going to do getting back the DC license. I really am. I'm not upset that McFarlane aren't making any more figures or anything like that, because like I said, they've done brilliantly in years. I'm looking more forward now to what a company's going to do going ahead from this, because obviously they can't look at McFarlane and make theirs worse than that. But I look at these He-Man figures that you buy, and the plastic and the paint jobs on them, and they just seem to be like expensive looking figures for the sake of what, $20?
Yeah, they're cheaper. Mattel were looking at some beautiful DC comic characters before McFarlane's multiverse, so I'm looking forward to Mattel. So a lot of people, it sounds like, are going back to it. So yeah, he says here, I agree, the multiverse figs have been fantastic.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's like I said, we've had this conversation a few times before, and to me, it's starting all over again. And the thing about it, you see, I don't buy I've got a couple of DC figures when I'm here, and I've picked up a few, and I like a few, and so forth. But for me, when it comes to 6 inch, it's always Black Series. And I just had that thing where if Black Series finished now after 12, 13 years of making them, and say, for example, Mattel got the license, I just don't think I'd be able to do it again. I don't think the love would be there to do it again. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is for me, because, I mean, I understand what you're saying, that you're looking forward to it, but really, they're going to be making the same figures. You're going to get Jokers, you're going to get Batmans, you're going to get Catwomans, you're going to get Green Lanterns.
But there's so many incarnations of them characters.
McFarlane's already done them, though.
Yeah. But again, it'd be nice to see a new incarnation of these figures. No matter what McFarlane have done, they've only really basically skimmed the surface of how many Jokers that they've actually done compared to how many there is in the comic books. Certain lines have been over the moon with, like the Batman 66 line, because you know what I'm like for 66 Batman. And to get to the age of nearly 50 and I can still buy figures in that franchise, I love more than anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm excited, Mark. For me, it's like, no, I want to see what's coming. And I'm not one to. The thing is, I suppose when you're a Black Series collector, how many more Boba Fett's do you need? That's the point. Whereas Batman, you could make another 100 figures under Mattel of Batman, and none of them would look like the same as each other. Yes, guaranteed they'd use repaints and they'd use parts from others, but they'd be different from each other figure that they do.
Yeah.
Whereas the Black Series is like, here's your 30th Empire Strikes Back Boba Fett.
The only thing, you see, with me not doing multiverse, I do, however, collect the DC Superpowers, and I love that line. Loved it. Yeah. Brilliant. I've been buying all. I think I'm missing 4 out of the 44, 46, whatever they've made. I'm missing 4 of them. And I've really enjoyed that line. But if they carried it on in Mattel, I think I'd finish. What I would do, I've said this before, is I'd fill all the gaps in that I already have. So say, for example, Black Series had stopped. I will fill in all the gaps that now a Black Series to make sure I completed that line or got as much as I can from it. Do you see what I mean? Just, I don't know what it is for me. I just think, start, it's like, whether people laugh or not, I like the gem stuff and I like the mask stuff. There's a few more things coming. So what I would do is I'd invest in my collection going that way. Instead of buying another Han Solo, because Mattel are now making them, I'd do that. One thing I am looking forward to, and I think they will do, Simon, is with Mattel getting this DC license, the Turtle crossover that they did with Masters is practically finished now. The Thundercats is next for this year, and I think DC will be crossed over with Masters of the Universe. I think that's the next thing.
And how big would that be? Do you know what I mean? I'd love that. Like a Harley Quinn Teela. I'd be over the moon. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited to see what Mattel are doing. I am sad to see McFarlane go, but I'm not upset. I'm not disappointed. Do you know what I mean? Because there's other companies outside of McFarlane that make fantastic DC figures. So it's not McFarlane that at the end of the day, I'd be devastated if Mattel didn't make them. Do you know what I mean? If that was it for McFarlane as well. But I get intrigued, and I like to see what's new and coming, and I'm glad that the line's finished, and now I can go back and collect what I wanted to collect and search down the really hard ones without any more coming. PVM or somebody just wrote it in here that at the moment it seems like McFarlane are doing like 5 figures a month. That's how it feels at the moment.
They're trying to get as many out as well. He says, I already stopped buying Black Series, so I wouldn't care if Hasbro stopped doing Black Series figures. And if we all got into the retro ones figures that we never got, I'd be all in. See, there's another thing too. They've got to sell it to me, I suppose, in a way, especially when, those lot of all toy collectors, we've all got a lot of stuff in our house, and it's getting to a point now where it's got to be, price has got to be good, quality's got to be good. Do you see what I mean? Because it has dipped. Yeah. Did you guys hear that they're going to probably make a Toys R Us movie according to Variety? No, that'd be awesome if they did, though. I'd be intrigued with that. The Pee-wee documentary's on tonight, the Paul Rubens one. It came out today on HBO. So I think you sent it to me as well, Si. So I can't wait to watch that too. Well, McFarlane is getting the DC lines out quicker, it seems, before the license comes out. Yeah. McFarlane did the vehicles for okay prices. They did, to be honest, yeah. Especially for superpowers. I mean, that Fortress of Solitude. Si, thanks for sending me that picture. It looks fantastic. Can't wait to get that.
Disappointed it's just the background, though. It's just like a few stands with crystals. I was like, make a Fortress of Solitude, like.
Well, I think it's because it's designed to go with the line it's in, which is a retro line. Do you see what I mean? So I think it works perfect. It's only meant to be like a display thing in it to put the figures on. It's not meant to be.
Did you ever do the Ball of Justice in that line? Did you ever make a big Ball of Justice?
No, and I can't see him. Well, unless it's the final hurrah that McFarlane does, I would love to see a Hall of Justice in that line.
Yeah.
If it ends, I see what's next. We're all collectors. We're going to collect. I agree with that. I mean, I think it's easy for someone like me, Si, to sit here and go, no, I wouldn't do it. But then again, if they came out and I thought, oh, man, look at these.
Exactly. It's what pulls you in, isn't it, really, to be fair?
What happens if you don't like them? You've never said that. What happens if they come out and you're not a fan?
Again, like I said, there's Batman DC licenses, not just McFarlane. There's some fantastic companies. Like you look at SH Figure Arts and you look at some of the Bandai ones and the Mezco ones. Some of them are amazing, especially Jono. Jono picks up so many mint Batman figures that aren't McFarlane, that aren't anything like you've. So that doesn't worry me in a sense. It doesn't. What I'm more excited about is what they're going to do, what I'm going to see new for DC. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So even VTR, prominently, he's a vintage toy collector. He said he also had the Superpowers re-releases. I loved them. I thought they were great. I just got the 3-packs too on them, and I've really enjoyed collecting that line. It's something that, as I said, and I've said it millions of times before, I like something that financially that everyone can do, and that was one of them. But you know, you're under the impression as well, Si, Mattel might not even make 6-7 inch DC. They might make them straight into the like a 3/3/4 inch line, or they might do a retro line, or they, you know, just because they've bought it, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to do a 6-7 inch line in them. They might do something different. Do you see what I mean?
No, you're right. And again, whereas McFarlane took on all the movie verse as well as the comic books, maybe Mattel won't do that. You don't know. My guess is I think they will, considering how many DC properties are coming out over these next few years. So it'd be a missed opportunity, obviously, if they didn't.
Yeah.
But again, they might just be childlike toys for the under 8s and things like that. You're right. You don't know how it's going to go, which I found exciting.
Well, I think that's one of the things that we forget about when we talk about Mattel and Hasbro, and they are prominently children's toys. So you never know how they're going to do it here, in a way. But I think if I had to think of it myself, I would say 80% they're going to aim it at adult collectors, because we're the ones that are buying it more now, aren't we? Really? So I can, you know, I can see them doing that. They were too big for my collection. However, they were sweet for the cost. Yeah, the cost of them was awesome. So I wish I had the room for more G-Force. The big problem is I have with McFarlane's DC figures is their size difference. Why didn't he make them 6-inch? I think that's why, just to stand out a little bit more, wasn't it, Si?
You know what? That never bothered me, Kieran, until you're right, because once compared to my Marvel Legends collection, I was like, when these eventually do get displayed, there's that gap like that, you know, that 1 inch just a little bit higher, just a little bit more bigger, and it sort of ruins it in a sense. So yeah, I would have preferred them 6-inch, 7-inch figures, though I'm fine with.
Yeah, he says it all of Todd's figures, they've all been 7-inch figures, and he was making figures long before anything else. I would like him to come back, and I think there was rumours at Toy Fair that he was coming back with the Walking Dead line, but making them more articulation now, because the last times they only had a little bit of articulation. They're more like statues that you could move the arm on or a leg. They weren't brilliant. If you came back with them, I'd be interested in them too.
Well, there's another thing for McFarlane. You know, the DC licensing is gone. What's going to fill that gap up for them? So it's going to be exciting to see what that company comes out with next as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, his sublines have been smaller scales. I agree. I mean, they're bound to have something else under the you know.
Well, they make Warhammer figures as well, and when you look how well Joy Toy have been making Warhammer, and you see how well they've been selling, and I've got a few of them myself. You've got to say to yourself, is McFarlane going to throw the kitchen sink at Warhammer? And you know, are they going to make them a lot more like price available than Joy Toy are? But hit that a lot more harder, because it's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger, isn't it, really?
It is. He says here, Todd was up to something with Wave 20 of his Spawn. You know, it's funniest thing, I'm not really a Spawn fan. I don't really know that much about it. But every time I've seen one of those Spawn figures, I'm like, wow, man, the detail on them is unbelievable. They did one where he was like a cowboy on a horse a couple of years back, and I was so tempted. I thought, them Spawn figures are beautiful. They are really nice. It's really good. McFarlane is making the new Superman figures, which is I saw a picture of the new Superman figures. I'm jealous of John O's Batman figs. Picking up that Hush Batman really took my collecting down a weird path. We're gonna get a He-Man Superman crossover, aren't we? Please, yeah, I think we will. I think because the Turtles was a big success. It did really well, and I think the wave I've just got right now is the last wave for that, because obviously the Thundercats is coming, which again. I'm bang. You're going to get them as well, aren't you? The Thundercats ones for it.
Yeah, they look really good.
But the thing about it is, I mean, I've got most of the masters behind me. I'm only missing, like I said, since 2020, 1 or 2 of them, and it's been a big success. And the way they've run it and the price for it and everything else, it's done really, really well. They'd be missing a trick if they didn't put the DC line in. Funko did it. I bought one from Heroes Source Toys a couple of weeks back. They did. Batman and Superman as He-Man figures, as the old versions of them, and they're nice. Can you imagine doing them now all articulated and so forth, and probably doing the same thing as they did with the Thundercats, where you can make them they get accessories that you can make them He-Man-esque, or you can take those accessories off and make them just Thundercats. I think they'll do the same thing with the Batman line. I do.
Hopefully, that'd be good to see. Yeah.
Superman met He-Man in the comic books. Yeah, I can see him crossing over with that because it's been a success. It has. I mean, I don't buy Turtles figures, but I've bought practically every one of them that were masters, and they're brilliant. They're absolute. I mean, that's the latest one right there, which is Ninja. And I mean, look at that. Do you see what I mean, Simon? Absolutely brilliant. Wings, accessories, comics, all sorts. Under 20, $17.99. You can't go wrong.
That's it. It's price value that I love about that as well. Do you know what I mean? And even the Masterverse figures, God, you can pick some of them up now for like £8, £10. So if they're gonna make, DC on the level of them figures, I'm way up for it. If they're going to, like I said, don't know.
Jonathan says Image Comics has a ton of characters that Todd could start making over. Yeah, I mean, they're not just going to sit back and let this go and not come up with something, are they? So I reckon next year will be intriguing at Toy Fair for what McFarlane does. Because
it is, but I think that Image Comics isn't. You've got to be in the know, anti-John, for Image Comics, especially the character they've got, like that Hawk character. What's he called? And outside of comic books and outside of people that like John, he's 2000 AD. He knows his books. He knows his history. How much really could you sell Image comic figures outside of to the the people that don't know? I don't think it'd sell well.
Right. The only issue I had with McFarlane Batman 66 was not having the right scale. Yeah, I got all the Batman 66 and I loved collecting that line too. The Wonder Woman was expensive for that. You couldn't find the one. It cost me 30 quid for the Wonder Woman one for that line. But you are right. The Batmobile is a little bit small to scale, but it looks cool. I mean, it's like I said, I've put it with the Bat Cave and so forth, and it's on my shelf, and I really like it. But you are right. They did the Joker's one too, which was really cool. Todd's Batmobile scale, perfect with 6-inch figures, though, Matt. There you go. That was the Gunslinger Spawn figure, Shabby. It was a free. It was, wasn't it, Ricardo? It just looked really cool, that thing. And like I said, because I don't know, I didn't buy him. Simply, I have no thing about Spawn at all. I couldn't tell you what it was about. I know there was a film in the 90s, wasn't there, about Spawn, but apart from that, is Spawn his own thing,
Spawn's his own character completely. Right. And the thing is that what people put off about Spawn and McFarlane is that every single year he says, we're doing a new Spawn movie, it's got to be, and everyone's looking forward to it. And nothing ever comes out of it. I think he just says it just for saying it. Do you know what I mean? He could have had one by now.
Yeah, I'd like to take a special moment to give my condolences to Kat, Keith, John, Martin, and Steph. All lost pets recently. Remember, you were there, everything, their whole lives. Yeah, I agree with that. That's a nice thing to say, G-Force. It's I've got 2 dogs myself, and I'd be mortified if anything happened to him. So yeah, that was a nice thing to say, G-Force. Good stuff. Well said, G-Force. Thanks, G-Force. Yeah, McFarlane could do Babe Station line or Debbie.
Which one would you buy, PGM? You'd buy them all, you.
You'd buy them all. But anyway, on that note, we're done. I've enjoyed this, Simon. I've enjoyed this.
You're just saying on that note, because Babe Station starts in 5 minutes, so you want to get off and watch it, don't you? I know. He's just reminded you.
I've got another 5 hours to go yet, Si. Eastern time. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry.
I've enjoyed this, Si. Thanks for doing this, mate. Because, like I said, me and Si Tub Thumpers is on it. I'm missing Tub Thumpers, Si. I'm missing it. It's I love doing Tub Thumpers. But I tell you what, just to go on a bit more, I was happy with Mondays as well, because I had this thought about doing this top 5 in your collection, and I thought, this might be a good, because Tub Thumpers is a completely different show, and I wanted to make it different than what we do on Tub Thumpers. A, because Tub Thumpers is mine and yours, and B, that's stuff that people usually they have put away and stuff, and it just recollects memories. This is something that we all have. We all have a top 5 in our collections, and it was nice, especially with Des and Adam telling the stories as well, saying the passion for it and so forth, and what they were pulling out. Do you know what I mean? I really thoroughly enjoy doing it. So, like I said, I put out a thing with if everyone would like to come on, and I'm fully booked to the 16th of June. So that's awesome, man. So thank you all so much for doing that. And we've got ZSR on Friday. So ZSR will be back on Friday. It's on my channel, ZSR, this Friday. So yeah, it's been a good show this time. I'm glad we did this. Here we go. So cheeky plug for my Real Impact live stream on APC channels tomorrow at 9. Yeah, what film are you doing? What Real Impact?
It's they're doing Mamma Mia.
Mamma Mia?
Yeah. So have a nice show. I won't be there.
I don't think I've ever seen it, Mamma Mia. Oh, we'll watch that. Well, no problem, Zoe. Yeah, you advertise as much as you want. I would get them all. Si, fun show. Cheers, Gap. Well, Shabby and Si, it's now time for Star Wars. Well, they are. It was good. I enjoyed Andor. It was good. It's like I said, there was just a little bit in it. Didn't take me out of it. Didn't ruin it for me and all. I just thought, why is that in Star Wars? But other than that, I loved it. Yeah. Great stream. Yes, thank you very much, everybody. We really, cheers, Des, for doing it. And I thanked Adam and Des for doing it. And like I said, there's a lot of people coming on. And I'll be intrigued. I'm intrigued to see what's in people's top 5 of the collections. I can't wait for it. Cannot wait for part 2 on Monday with the top 5. Yep, it's already got guests. Like I said, we've got guests fully booked. But if anyone wants to come on, either on Tub Thumpers with me and RSI, if you've never done Tub Thumpers, or the top 5, just message me or Si. I'd love to come on. Everyone's welcome with me, Si. You know you are. Bet Shabby wears his specs for Babe Station. I tell you what, it's unbelievable. 17th CV. Thanks, guys. Yeah, cheers, fellas. Thanks a lot, everybody. What's Shabby? You never watch Mamma Mia? Oh, wait. So I'm not surprised. Never seen BT Back to the Future? Of course I have. Is that what it means? Back to the Future there, Si?
That's BTTF, isn't it?
Yeah. Shabby has those magnifying glasses for Babe Station. Oh, geez, Rob. It's good to see you, Gilster. Great stream. Great to see everybody. No, thank you all very much for joining. We had 50 people in all night. So I appreciate everybody coming in and supporting me inside. It's been awesome. But anyway, please like and subscribe. We have a Patreon if you'd like to join that. Helps the channel grow so me and our side can do live streams like this. But apart from all that, awesome. Brilliant, Si. Covered a lot of...
Just the news off, just things off your chest, innit? Get things off your chest.
Get things off your chest.
And that's what I've done.
Say good night, Simon.
Good night, Simon.
See ya.